I'm Cassidy King here. I got my chef to the left, Brendan B. This is the Sports Goombahs. Computer's falling off here.
Great start.
Welcome to the show. Like I said, I got my chef to the left, Brendan B. I got Mikey the Wall over here. And this is the Sports Goombahs. We're rocking the 515 studios here in Bucks County, PA. Yeah, well, what are you going to do? That's how things go around here. We booby trap it because that's what we do. Sports Goombahs brought to you by Castle Public Adjusters. 215-752-1237. The best public adjusters in the Delaware Valley. Fire and water damage to your house. Give them a call. 215-752-1237. Check them out at castlepublicadjusters.com. All right, let's get right to it. Coming up to the NFL season now, we're pretty much going to put the preseason to an end here finally. Preseason bullshit is what I call it. We got to see Sam Bradford finally throw some football forward. A couple bullets, a couple touchdowns, 10 for 10 in the preseason games. Everybody locally is anointing him as the MVP of the league, and the Eagles have now won the Super Bowl. Just like that.
I knew it would be negative starting from you.
It's not negative, positive. How's my negative? Come in, look at it. Who's better quarterback than Sam Bradford right now?
Well, I assumed you were going
in the NFC.
I assumed it was sarcasm.
Well, I'll throw the sarcasm in then. Everybody since preseason doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter one.
Doesn't matter. It's got to be some kind of judge or gauge for something.
The gauge
because
doesn't gauge anything to me. I mean,
how could it? Well, see, I take offense to that because then why? Okay, then scrub preseason, go right into the right.
That's
then what?
For us, we talked about this last week. It's preseason is not for us. It's not for us to make decisions. It's for the coaches and players and
so it does serve a purpose.
Yeah, not for us though. I mean, it's
for roster purposes.
So, well, let me ask you then. So if you're the man making the decisions and you see he's probably the best quarterback performance in preseason of any team.
Who?
Bradford.
No, he's not. He only played. Well, okay, he had one game.
For this season. For this preseason.
No, I don't
If
know.
it's not for us, then those guys can make that assumption. I know we can't because we're just mere mortals.
Listen, I don't watch freaking football all over the country. I don't know what I don't even care what anybody else did. You know? And
because if they did anything, you would have heard about it.
Look at the way I drafted. I didn't care about anything anyway.
That's true.
You know?
You didn't even draft.
I didn't even draft. Yeah.
Look, I took Bradford just based off of his performance because he could be a stat machine. Just for and people, I got hazed for it when we did our draft today. Cashing messed up a little bit. We'll get to that, but. With Bradford, I took him, and then were several people that said, "Why did you take Bradford?"
And that's a good question.
And I said, "Because he
has a really good question. I mean,
well,
he's gonna have a great season.
Yeah, he could. All those short passes that they're going to throw, he's going to rack up yards is points. He'll get to 1 or 2 touchdowns for a game. He's good for 25,
I really
30
hope he gets
points.
more than 1 or 2 touchdowns a game.
Yeah, well, he's good for at least 25, 30 points a game. I'm guessing. And there was really nothing out there on him about it because he hasn't really played a full season. So if you get lucky. But you know what? I don't care. People make fun of me. I said my backup quarterback is Brady. So when he gets his 2 games, I'll have him back after week 2, 3. Anyway.
Well, I had 2 drafts yesterday in both leagues. Sam Bradford went before like Drew Brees's and players. I've been Brady in one of them. So yeah, I mean, you're not crazy for doing that, but I mean, yeah, that was. And the catch that I didn't follow every single quarterback performance throughout the preseason. I saw some good ones. I think it was this week, the Chiefs, 2 quarterbacks combined to go like 35 of 40 and 4 touchdowns. It was insane. But of just singular performance, you literally couldn't ask for anything better out of Bradford.
Exactly.
You couldn't have asked for a
and
single
because
thing
they were good, you heard about their performances.
Yeah.
So that leaves one team that you heard that was more successful or had a better camp than Bradford. So to knock it now and say, I don't know what I got, that's kind of silly because you got a good basis of what you got.
The reason why guys in your league are saying something is because you got to, because they're listening to the hype of the injury crap. He's one hit away from going down. But as far as I'm concerned, every NFL player is one hit away from going down. And the bullshit I've heard all week, and not even just locally, but talking to people and, most of the shows talk about injuries. Players can't play because they're injured. They can't do this because they get injured. They don't want to do that because they get injured. And like I said last week, and I'll say it again, what the hell's the difference? You guy gets injured in the first game of the season, he's out. Gets injured in the first preseason. If it's football, every year you're going to have your players that are going to go down. 5 or 6 good players will go down in the league, and everybody will be pissed off, and that's the way it goes. Every year it happens. It's the way you can't protect a player by not playing them. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of, and that's what I watch.
But you'd rather get him hurt in something that counts.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? If he gets hurt in preseason, it counted for the season. He's out for the season. You know what? You can't just stick a player in there the first game of the season. You got to have football speed. Can you imagine Bradford?
But that's what practice is for.
Didn't play right. And I understand that, but it's the speed of the game. You got to have at least a couple touches or something. I think
by all accounts. The players themselves were saying that practice is more up-tempo than the games they are playing right now.
But that's not every team. That's just the Eagles.
That's just Kelly,
maybe it's just preparedness. So that's what I'm saying. My point being this. If they're meaningless, then get rid of them. But you said it's for somebody else to judge. And obviously those guys are judging somewhat based on these performances. You have to, right?
Well, yeah, you know that. But most of it goes on in practice. Most of the judgment goes on. They know what they have out there. That's why the coaches don't really. The preseason is for the guys trying to make the team, like we spoke about last week, and that's it. The bottom line is that we saw what Sam Bradford can do, okay, and we haven't seen a quarterback throw a football in this town like that since Jaworski. All right, before your time. Well, who else in this town has thrown a football like that? What quarterback had an arm like that in this town?
For one game, a lot.
No.
We saw half a game.
We
for half a game. Coy Detmer looked like a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, his pedigree from coming out of college has been like this. This is what he was.
Look, I'm as big a Sam Bradford fan as ever, but to say that you haven't seen a performance such as this,
not a performance, an arm.
He's talking about an arm.
I never saw. We haven't had a quarterback who can pick players. We saw.
Michael Vick had a cannon on his arm.
He had a cannon arm, but he made players have to catch the ball. He didn't put it.
He wasn't accurate.
No,
there's a difference between having a strong.
I'm sure
arm
he had a game where he was completely accurate.
Yeah, I'm sure he did too. But he had games where he's accurate. A lot of times, especially when you're scrambling around, you can't be that accurate. You put balls in spots. His guy, he had the arm that we like to see. He had the arm of the prototypical type of quarterback that wins in this league.
Okay? No. Now, what we saw, and what I saw most of all in this past game was, okay, bang, you threw to a spot, and he was there. The guys ran the right routes. You have somebody on this team now, I think this is what you're trying to say, is you have a quarterback who can throw a ball to where only our receivers can get it.
Because he can read.
Because he can read a spot. He can read it. He throws to a mark. He stands in there, takes the hit, and makes the shot. Now, a couple times.
You can say, come on. Mike Vick had one of the best games ever that I've ever saw to come back in the New York Giant game. But 5 years ago, when he had that comeback, they were down 27 points.
Miracle in Meadowlands too.
Yeah, whatever. That was ridiculous. It was almost like you were playing a Madden game. You were controlling the quarterback that day.
If I was playing Madden, I would never been in that spot to begin with.
Obviously. So that's it. Other than that, the defense was a little weak, but I don't care. Defense is a little weak in a preseason game. You don't know who you're playing against since it's tough.
The backup defense was a little weak. We don't have to worry about that.
Right. You don't have to worry about much of anything. This team right now is once again, Chip Kelly teams are going to be enjoyable to watch, win or lose. That's just the way kind of football he plays. And I like seeing that. I want to watch that. And they're going to score 30 points a game.
It's kind of like, to compare to another sport, it's kind of like the Warriors have been before they won the title. It was just win or lose, they're gonna be fun to watch. Up and down, fast, young, all this, and then look what happened. They won a title. So I don't want to say that we're gonna win the title now, but we're looking pretty good.
Yeah.
And our odds when the season began or the post draft, whatever it was, to now, we just keep jumping higher and higher and higher and higher.
Vegas moved after that football game. When they saw the kind of arm that guy had, they said,
so they say preseason doesn't matter, but to Vegas, it kind of mattered.
That's a whole other ball.
It kind of mattered.
To me, to Vegas, the preseason matters when it comes to that. But when it comes to the evaluation of players, there's a few players that need that. The coach needs to have that preseason for, and we know who they were. I mean, and like I said to B before the show, we're pretty much done with the Tim Tebow crap unless he does something unique. Maybe Well,
he'll get extended time this week.
Yeah, he'll get extended time.
They said Barkley starting, so
yeah, he'll get extended time to screw up because the more time that he's out there is the more chances he's going to mess up. And then finally we can put Tebow to rest. You want him on the team, fine. We can give him the cheerleaders. Ball boy, whatever you want to do. You want to put him on the sideline to say prayers, that's fine. If Chip feels needs to keep him on the team for morale, which I don't buy the morale shit in the NFL, you got to this point, you don't need to be, hoo-ah'd onto the field before you go. If you're there that day and you're in the NFL, you better be up and ready to play. Especially when you're getting paid a couple $1 million. Isn't that an incentive to play well? Isn't it an incentive to show up?
You would think. But obviously not, because look what he booted out of here. Maybe he wants straight-laced guys. Maybe that's the only reason why he's here.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about money in general from a player, from an NFL, from an athlete. When you get that kind of money, you think you don't need to be pumped up a little bit. You're getting that kind of cash to play a sport.
Well, that's purposely the point I'm talking about. Look at the guys who were booted off this team. If money was motivated, then they should have showed up every day, but they didn't.
That's not why they were booted. They booted off for attitudes. For way of doing things. They didn't.
Okay,
and Jackson was never not motivated. McCoy was,
but he didn't want
motivated.
to practice. He wasn't good in practice. That was one of the knocks on him.
I never
McCoy.
heard that. I never heard he wasn't good in practice. I heard he.
But he showed up on Sunday.
Yeah, that's all I care about. We'll get back to the Irish and crap. That's all I care about.
You care about. Obviously, it matters because they're not on his team, and this team is working.
They're
well
not
enough.
on his team has nothing to do with how they showed up in practice.
Nothing.
0% to do with that. And I hate agreeing with Cashy. You know that. But it has nothing. It had nothing to do with their practice.
I think work ethic means a lot to Chip, and if they're not following the rules, then that's it. That for them, then that's a no-no. And who knows? He won't talk about it. So
following the rules and showing up for practice are different things. You can be a good practice player, but if you're
getting dehydrated in practice,
if you talk subversive about what the coach is doing behind his back, they don't like that because it's bad for other players. And that's what was going on with Jackson. He didn't want to do things the way Kelly wanted. He ran his patterns, went out for passes, did what he had to do, but he didn't, Did
he go to bed at night, get enough sleep? Did he do all that? Probably not.
No, he was talking about his rap music with the other guys and doing his thing out there.
He wanted to hang out late.
No, it was the focus. Those two guys did not focus on Chip Kelly's way of playing football.
And that's why they're gone.
That does not do with
part of that is listening to what he wants you to do, what he wants you to eat, when he wants you to sleep.
Listen, Deshaun Jackson, and it's 2 years for Deshaun already. The hell with him. He's gone. Done in the story. He's not coming back, and there's a good chance he won't even be in Washington next year when he screws up this year or gets injured one way or another. What that Washington team? The hell is anything that has to do with sports in Washington down the drain. They spend money on all their sports teams, and they get nothing from it. No return whatsoever. RG3 2 weeks ago said he was the best quarterback in football. Said it.
Yeah.
And he's not even starting on this team now.
He's battling for third string.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, man, where he's come from. Now, is it because of injuries? Probably. He probably can't move like he used to. Or he does not put out the effort because, one, he just, he thinks it's come natural to him through his whole career, through college and coming up to the pros. Now he's got to work at it. Now he's got to rehab. He's got to figure out what it is he needs to do to be the right kind of quarterback, which really isn't in the NFL anyway. But
also there's multiple reports, not just one, but multiple players, of course, without being named, are ecstatic that he lost his job.
Yeah,
they hate him.
Right.
They hate him.
Right.
I've heard reports that he would bring his wife out to strip clubs on boys' nights.
Right.
He would, he would be sitting on the sidelines getting his hair braided by his mom and sister, or grandma and sister, and just like
distractions.
He wasn't he wasn't fun to be around.
Give us a call, 267-563-2893. That's 267-563-2893. Sports Goombahs Hotline. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Just plug in the name, we come up. That's for sure.
And to add on to that, Troy Aikman is calling them the equivalent. They're worse than the Kardashians. And I hate to agree with Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman.
Who's worse than the Kardashians?
The Redskins are more dysfunctional than the Kardashians.
What are the Kardashians?
I mean, it's a good little line to throw out there, but nothing's worse. Nothing's worse in the world than that family. There's nothing worse in the entire world.
That's just to show you the impact of what some people think.
No, I understand. Yeah, because they're a joke. They're a mess.
First of all, that's him. His analogy is the first thing that comes off the top of his head, and that's the thing that will make us.
That's the trend. Yeah, it's a trendy thing.
To say that because they say that in movies now. They say that in fictitious comedy shows. They use them because it gets everybody to go like that. Once you get that, it's ratings or whatever. And probably Aikman had nothing else to say. He had nothing else to compare it to. What he's going to compare it to the Republican Party. The guy's running for president. Donald Trump is worse than Donald Trump. How about that guy, man? Man, he is the best. I watched the whole thing. He did a 2-hour shtick on Saturday. I don't know who from. It was the NARA. It wasn't the National Radio. Some NARFA something. He was on, and he was rolling, and it was like I sat there in amazement. The people was cheering for him and screaming. This guy could do it.
He's a motivator.
He's absolutely. He's telling us the other art of the deal clowns that are out there, the billionaires that he's going to bring into his staff now to go make deals with other countries and stuff. Give him a football team. Well, he had a football team.
He tried.
He ruined that one too.
He tried for a football team. The Bills, remember?
Well, he had a USFL team. He had the Jersey team.
He tried to get a team.
Yeah, he tried to get.
This is before my time.
We had that.
Was this before his 7th or 8th bankruptcy?
The 8th bankruptcy.
All right.
Look, it was the 7th one. He had that team, that New Jersey USFL team, the one that who originally had the Herschel Walker on it, a couple other guys before that one defunct. Actually, wasn't a bad league for a couple years. It was actually running pretty good because it had a lot of NFL players in it at that time. I guess I'm going back in the early 80s. I think that was
81, 82. I think.
I don't know exactly what, but it's back in
I'll
that
check
time.
it out.
So anyway, that's what we saw yesterday in preseason and this weekend in preseason football. I mean, next week is the joke games.
This is for the 53rd spot. That's what this game is.
That's what it is. Yeah.
You're not going to see anyone 1 through 30, on the depth chart, actually playing. Hence why Barkley's starting.
Yeah. I saw McFadden. McFadden's the running back for the Cowboys, right?
He's one of.
Yeah. I saw him down there low on the chart. I was going to pick him up before the auto draft sucked him out of me.
See, yeah, you got to tell me what happened today.
I'll tell you how it was.
There's no excuse for being auto drafted.
I'll give the way it went down was supposed to be at 3:00. So then, and yesterday the guy texted me and says
already rule violation for a 3 p.m.
on a
Monday draft.
I knew it was going to be impossible from day one from the first, but what we're going to do. I gave Beat $100.
Well, here's the thing: when you're in a league there's some restaurant guys in this league, and that's when we're off.
Right.
And that's the way.
What, restaurants are closed on Mondays?
No, it's always the light day, so you can finagle.
Anyway, I forget why. The whys and the wheres is not important. What happened was, so I'm out there at 2:00. I got my phone hooked up. I'm trying to do this on the phone. Got the little droid going there. I'm driving. I'm already violation. First of all, I'm driving in the car.
And where are you driving?
Was it driving?
Yeah.
I'm 95.
Is it local? Of course not. Of course not. So you're driving on a major highway.
Major highway with a phone in my hand. I got
where there's been construction for 6 years.
I got a broad in the other seat, man, bitching and moaning. So, what are you doing? Watch the road. What are you doing with 2 hands, Chuck? So.
At least there's one logical thinker.
Yeah. The first pick comes up, and I think it was, I tried to get Adrian Peterson, right? It was, I was the 10th pick, and he was still there.
At 10?
At 10, he was still down there.
Wait, what?
Yeah, let me see I think it was, whatever. Dude, it is what it is. They're restaurant people.
Yeah, you're right.
Come on.
They're probably drafting
for Monday. Whatever. So, and also I pick him, and who do I get? I get C.J. Anderson, which, I'm like, I don't know who he is. I know who he is, but I don't know he's good enough. He's not a first rounder, but evidently he is.
Well, if you watch the Wednesday night show, you'll see he's a pretty good running back.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, exactly. And you know what? And it's so funny you said that because some of the players I started memorizing from the show on Monday that we had, especially that who did I get? What was his name? You guys were making fun of somebody. Was it? He always gets in the way.
I have no idea.
Jeffries, I think it was, right?
Alshon Jeffrey? He was getting away. He's a good receiver.
Yeah, well, that name, that guy I picked.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I get down, I looked on it. But I'm going down the roster. Eli Manning's the only, recognizable name that I have from the past on there. Everybody else, I got young players on this team. Julian Edelman I had last year. He did very well for me until he got injured.
Nothing says youth like Vincent Jackson and Julian Edelman.
Yeah. Well,
pair of 30-year-olds.
Yeah, that's it. They're my two veterans on that team, I think. If you look down the lineup. I wanted Eli Manning. I spoke about Eli Manning on the show before because I wanted to get one of his weapons too, but they were gone by the time I got up there as well.
Yeah, I stole Beckham.
But I think, well, I don't know what kind of where did Beckham go?
What one did he go?
How do you figure stole him? I mean,
I didn't steal him, but I took him before you.
I don't know if you took him for a B. I didn't have any control who I was taking. Because on the system here, after each pick, it toggles back to auto draft.
Now, this is something we'll discuss on Wednesday as well. Because auto drafts, man, I don't even know why this is an option. If you're not physically present, first of all, I don't like online drafts.
That's what I'm sick. I'm sick about this whole thing right now.
I
don't mind the online drafts if we're there actually.
You should just get skipped. You should have an empty roster.
Right.
Don't even.
I just think he's making excuses already.
Probably.
Excuses for what?
Because
he's probably the brainchild behind every one of those picks. And just goes, well, if I blame it on auto draft, I can't take the heat.
I conceded. But now look at the roster. I called Junior at 2:00. I said, "What are you doing today?" Because I was going to give it over to him. I was going to give him my password and say, "Do your thing, man. Cut you in half, and we're done here."
It's a cheapskate, cheater.
Why am I cheating?
You draft Brady?
I did.
I couldn't.
No, see, well, then you're not.
I drafted him as a backup.
How can I draft Brady?
Because you're a cheater. I thought cheaters would flock together.
Hey, cheat? How can I cheat? I can't have no control. What kind of cheater is that? You can't control the stinking draft itself.
Yeah, I didn't use the auto draft.
Because you didn't have to.
Well, I didn't have to, but I had it on because what it does to me, for somebody who's not as fluent in all the players in all the league, it brings them to the top so you can see who the next best player it is.
But that's the whole thing. See, that's why back in the day,
you had to sit down with the newspaper every week and look at it. I understand that.
We came prepared. Even with even when I had the last couple drafts, I win every year. I win.
Good. By getting auto drafted, probably.
No, I win on the leagues. We show up at the restaurant and have to do it. You stick your hand in a hat and you pick out your number and you do it that way. The only thing that's computerized is the stats afterwards. When you're doing, I used to, like I said last week, a couple weeks ago, we used to have papers faxed to us with lines and squares, and we filled in things and sent it back in. Took a whole day to get a free agent draft thing going. But now it's too easy because so many people are doing it. It's all about the money being generated by all these sites and everything. That he's right. You don't have to. You can become part of the fantasy sports world by just giving your money and watching, which what does on Sunday. It gives you something else to do. If you're not betting games, at least you have something else to root for, other teams, and keeps you interested in your Sunday football.
Yeah, but who's not going to be betting games when they're going to be getting our winners every week?
That's true.
They got.
Especially with the streak you guys are on.
Well, first of all,
when we get to that,
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a football guy with earning for people. I've never been good at the NFL.
Well, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, well, whatever. If you want to take over the NFL, knock yourself out because my experience.
I'm going to stick to hockey.
That's where the money is, brother.
I'm here to earn. Well, how I do it for my people is how I do it. Whether it's football or not, I don't care. If you call, they used to call me. Remember, they used to call on the radio show and say, "Oh, we can't bet side totals on hockey. How do you get a side total bet?"
Yep. Oh yeah, well, there's a guy out there. There's a guy out there that'll get you side totals.
That's it. I'm giving you a way to earn. You got to figure out how to do it. I'm doing it. Other people do it. There's got to be some way for you to do it out there. Figure it out. You got to get an online service. Get an online service. You got to do what you got to do. That's how I'm giving out winners. You want me to pick wins and losses just so you get a play from me?
One night was 3 years ago at the old place. He won one night. He went 13-1 on hockey.
Yeah, that was interesting.
That was a lot of units.
Whatever happened to you?
A lot of units, baby. I'm just saying. So you stick to hockey. You know,
NHL was NHL. It was rough at the end of last year. Yep. It got rough because things changed.
All the young kids.
Well, it's not the young kids. I'm talking about the.
Oh, you old people always blame it on the kids.
It has nothing to do with young kids, really. What it has to do is the lines and how they're putting these games out there. They smarten up on the side totals because a lot more people are playing them now. Back 4 or 5 years ago, it was just you played wins or losses. It wasn't side totals. Not everybody was into the computer way of doing things. Now everybody's got computer sites where they can bet minute totals if they want to. I mean, you got live play now. You can actually bet a baseball game that's actually live and moving here on each inning, each pitch. So when that happens, it changes all the odds and the way and the totals and stuff. And last year came to play a little bit. I saw a movement on hockey. You know me at hockey. I want hockey. I think is the best sport to bet because they give you goals. The average goal, the average score in hockey is what 3-2,
3.5,
whatever.
Yeah, average goals per game.
Well, what I'm saying is whatever. My point being is that at the end of a game, it's usually a 1 or 2 goal lead, and they pull the goalie and they give the other team an extra skater, which gives you an advantage. So they're giving you a chance to score another goal. Well, no other sport is like that. No other sport gives you opportunities at the end of the game to score. You have to do it all by yourself, and there's no help.
Some NFL teams will do it once in a while.
Do what?
Allow them to score.
No. I'm talking about you don't just allow them to score. You don't have a goalie on the other side. It's an open net. No one's defending you. And the other side,
it's like taking the whole defense off.
Right. You have extra player at that point. So in hockey, it makes a difference. I mean, I can't tell you that the amount of games that we pulled off to where we'll get back to that. We got to go to the phones here. Sports Goombahs, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. How you doing? It's Tommy Boy checking in.
How's it going, man?
Doing great. I wanted to talk to you guys about some of these suspensions going on since my boy Brady went back to court today. I'm not too happy about what's going on. And I just want to bring up the fact that these Pittsburgh Steelers that were facing week 1 on Thursday night, they now got Montavious Bryant who's been suspended for drug use. They already got Le'Veon Bell suspended for drug use. They got these slugs running around in Pittsburgh.
Vic.
Collins can't keep his boy straight. But my guy Brady can't play week 1. But what's going on here, guys? What's up with these slugs that just keep rolling in the NFL? I don't like it.
Lack of talent?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny though with the Steelers how it's just like it's supposed to be like a wholesome team out there, and it's just marijuana, domestic abuse, drugs, dog killing, raping. Like something's going on out there in Pittsburgh. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, I mean, I don't. Then meanwhile you got
fix the backup there, right?
He's gonna start.
What?
Yeah. Well, Roethlisberger's suspended.
What did they say?
Yeah, I forgot that they just signed that dog killer Mike Vick. And then they got that rapist Ben Roethlisberger.
Wait. What they spend Roethlisberger?
No, sorry, he's not suspended. He did rape somebody. He didn't get suspended for it. He beat that one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'll say who did he rape?
He should have got suspended.
I forgot.
He should have.
A couple $100,000 and then he went on his way. And but you know what? I just really wish Brady was playing in week 1 because we're already going to kick their ass. But I would just love it if my boy Brady was in there so we could really, put a slopping on them because their defense is terrible this year, Pittsburgh. And I can see the Patriots putting up 40 with Brady.
Yeah.
Besides that, I think we still win the game. But you know what? I got a problem with these young folks coming in and just doing their drugs. But you got Brady. He just wants to win the game. He just wants to win, and now he's suspended.
Yeah,
he's a good guy.
Wanting to win is worse.
Well, it's when you buck the Don. Let me see your phone. No, and I don't care whether it's wrong or right. He had every right to do it. It's just because he stood up and made a bull. He stood up.
And
to
it does
the
really put a damper on opening night because how much better would it have been to see Brady against the Steelers as opposed to Garoppolo against the Steelers?
Yeah, well, and the NFL they're going to take the hit on it when they see the game isn't going to go the way the way it should be, and Goodell's got to think of a better suspending players from games. I don't think is the way. You know what I mean?
Hey Tommy, but who you like in that game? What's the final score in that one?
Final score in the week 1, I'm thinking Patriots 31, Steelers 20.
All right, that's fair.
About right.
That's
I don't like that.
There's your average NFL game right there, 52, right in that ballpark. Hey, appreciate the call. Remember, one thing you got to remember: NFL, the National Felon League, man. That's what it is, man. If you're a felon, you can get away with anything you want in the NFL as long as you can score touchdowns.
And it won't matter because Brady's you watch. It's going to be 2 games. That's it. If that.
Unfortunately, it's still week 1, though.
Yep.
Yeah, well, listen, who's to say that the Patriots not going to win? Win all 4 of those games. I mean,
I would love it.
Yeah,
I would absolutely love it.
Yep.
The biggest FU ever.
Yep.
And then somebody can overpay for Garoppolo.
Yeah, that's going to happen. Right?
I think the trade deadline's what, like week 6 or something like that? To get 2 weeks to bang out a trade for him. Next Matt Castle.
And get your money's worth.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
So I don't know. I can't wait for this week to be done and we can start the NFL season. And then
it's kind of like a tease. It's like the preseason's over, but it's technically not. But it really is. We're all watching a bunch of undrafted rookies and duke it out for.
Now, are you going to
duke it out for $450,000?
Are you even going to pay attention this week to any of the games?
No, only because I've barely paid attention to any other games.
You watch it. What's going to happen with the Eagles this year? And this is the 3rd year, and this is the 3rd year the NFL gets to watch this offense. Now, the computer geeks have been in these sealed off places and all these stadiums and these training camps, focusing on how he's running his offense there. And still with Sam Bradford, I still don't. The read option still doesn't scare me. Like I said last week, and he does the play fake and rolls out there, and nobody's running with him. But in return, now I understand what Kelly isn't looking for his quarterback to be like Kaepernick, turn that corner and sprint down the field. What he's looking for in the option is to get the 4 and 5 yards for that first down that he needs at that point. So it's more important for Bradford to make sure he can slide. Make sure he's got his hook slide in there, no head first stuff. Make sure he goes down fast enough, gets his head into his chest, and doesn't get plastered. And that's what's key here. That's all he needs. That's a 5-yard play. That's all that's going to be. He's not turning upfield, obviously, to get hit. So
now again,
the play itself, which we don't see it. How many times do you think you've seen that play where the quarterback actually had the ball since he's been here? Where and he's having. I mean, how many times did Foles roll out with that ball in his hands?
Not often because we've never had a running quarterback.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, even to do the slide or just to get a few extra yards, they don't even run the play. They do it so much that the fake isn't even. They're not even biting on the fake anymore. But with that said, the option is there, and when you have, the weapons on this team, they got 7 weapons at least, right? I mean,
you don't need to.
You really don't need to. I mean, how can you defend against that? You just got to make the plays. It's all about the players making the plays. I mean, and that's it. I don't see anybody. And I know I'm not talking hype here. I like football. I'm an Eagle fan. I'm a football fan. I want the hometown team to do good because it benefits me if they do. It benefits our show and the people around us. But I look at this NFC and I don't see anybody. I mean, preseason wise, I really haven't watched too many games. I watched a couple Packer games because I think the Packers are the team to beat. Now, losing a wide receiver hurts them a little bit. They're running back to injury too.
No, they lost the other. I mean, he's not really going to miss time, but Cobb left the game with an injury too.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, come out. They can't afford that. That hurts. So
I think a tackle got hurt too.
Rodgers is good, but he ain't that good. When he starts losing, Rodgers needs weapons. So I think I don't think Rodgers is going into a season where his weapons were down.
Well, first of all, Rodgers is that good.
Yeah. Well, no,
he doesn't. He really, honest to God, wouldn't need weapons. Like he's created weapons.
Right. He needs a running.
I mean, was Randall Cobb some big huge name that everyone was dying after?
None of his running backs are ever huge names. They all he bring them all.
Receivers.
I mean,
but that's the point I'm making is that he doesn't technically need those big first round get me a wide receiver. He's had the.
That's a very Brady-esque remark.
The drivers and the Jennings.
They became.
He created them. Yeah.
Well, all the good quarterbacks seem to have done that. Just go down the list of them. Now, you look at Manning this year. Is this a year that he finally,
Manning does have big talent, though.
Yeah.
Manning does.
Yeah. I guess he had wide receiver talent. Throughout his whole career. Yeah. So that's why Brady.
2 Hall of Famers.
That's why Brady gets put up in that a little higher than Manning when you talk about quarterbacks, because people forget when you look at Manning, he had through his tenure in Indianapolis for a good 10 years, he had the 2 of the same wide receivers. left and right all the time. Where Brady, unfortunately, you can't say that.
Even since he's been to Denver, it's been Demaryius,
Right.
who was a first-round pick.
Right.
Welker's a Hall of Famer.
Right.
You know, Emmanuel Sanders is pretty damn good as well.
And that's why you separated two quarterbacks. But then again, get the cheating factor in there, where it brings them down just a little bit more.
It's 6-1, half dozen the other. You're always going to have, through course of history, people are going to debate that, because if you look at it like you've always said, stats, stats, quarterbacks, and all that stuff, and who's really better. You've always said stuff like that. So, and that's why throughout history that gets you to a Hall of Fame. But does that make you the best ever? No.
Winning makes you the best ever.
Exactly.
Man, that's what it does.
You think you think it would matter if somebody had 5 rings on their hand, and was a poor completion percentage?
Perfect example is Dan Marino. And when everybody brings up the best quarterbacks in football, they do that stupid list. It seems like his name always dribbles down there. They forget about him because he doesn't have those rings.
Mm-hmm.
And if you take away the ability, the rings of having those, the championships, well, then you got to stick, Marino up there with everybody. But see, he doesn't have the wins, and that's sports. That's just sports in general. When you rank the best, you're always putting in because they have wins. And I'm not saying that you could be Eli Manning and you don't rank him as the top 10 ever anytime but he has 2 rings. But that's a team. That's a different kind of win. You don't open up a season and say, oh, you got Eli Manning in your backfield, you have a chance to win the Super Bowl. Theoretically, you do, but you don't think that. But when you say you have a Manning or a Brady or a Rodgers back there, you think, well, this team is on the list to win the Super Bowl. This team could win the Super Bowl just because of their quarterback. And that's that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I always thought that winning I hate to say that winning's overvalued. Obviously, it doesn't sound right to say that, but I always thought that championships were put too much emphasis on. To say to immediately discredit Marino because he has no rings and say, oh, Eli Manning, blah blah blah. No, I'm pretty confident to say that any rational thinking football fan would take a Dan Marino in his prime over an Eli Manning in his prime.
Absolutely.
So again, like I said, I think. I hate to say that they put too much emphasis on winning, but in this sport, it's not about one player. Yeah, you know what it is, too? You look at the era of when these quarterbacks played. If you go back to Marino when he was playing, he had look at the quarterbacks the teams, the powerful teams of the 80s that he had to beat year in and out. And even the Raiders were good back then. And yet the league was different. You could hit. There's a whole different era. So in football, especially more than any other sport, because football It's so physical and it changes so much, and the rules have changed throughout the decades that you can't compare quarterbacks to quarterbacks from past to present. You just can't do it. It doesn't make any sense. It's like
even in the 70s to the 80s.
The sport itself,
the
whole sport itself in general. And baseball really hasn't changed. A pitcher's a pitcher. They throw the ball. I mean, they raised the mound a little bit. I don't know when they did that. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, they raised it 6 inches. That makes
longer than that.
It was longer than that. Yeah, but
whatever. It was done. They changed the field a little bit. The NFL really has never changed anything on that field except on goalposts. They moved the hash marks in and they put the goalpost back. Was supposed to. I don't know why they did. Supposed to make kicking more prominent back then, or less. Well,
putting it back was one of the smartest moves they've ever done.
Yeah, well, because it interfered in the play.
Yeah, the fact that it was there ever
right
is just asinine.
And he's even as a little kid, he's remember my father. I said, I don't understand. How could the goalpost be on the?
Did they? I mean, I haven't watched too much highlight. And again, also throwing wasn't as big back then. But did they use it as pick plays? Because I was running circles around it. And eventually just spit out, kind of like a little pinball.
If you go to the NFL films, they have files built just towards what went on, with the goalpost. And the other thing is the pass too was cut down by the post.
And also, if I do recall, they used to have, instead of pylons, they had physical flags.
Yes, they had flags,
which was highly dangerous, right? I mean, I don't know if anyone's ever been impaled on those, but
again, a sport like that, which has changed through the years with safety and helmets. Remember we're talking about a sport that no mask, no anything. At one point, but that's just the way things are.
Isn't it funny when you look back at these old sports? The most crazy thing I ever see is you'll see, and you see it in hockey and football. You see these guys all bulked up on pads and nothing protecting their face. And nothing was coming for another 30, 40 years to protect their face, too. It's like you would think that'd be the first thing you want to protect was your brain or your eyes.
And hockey,
especially and football, too.
Hockey and football, both of them. Yeah.
When you sit there and you look at it and go, I'm surprised that it didn't evolve even faster than it did, especially considering there was a flux of the face shield didn't come around until the 80s in hockey. And you had that string of people in the mid-70s who were going down left and right because of eye injuries with the puck.
I don't know. Hockey was that slap shot wasn't prominent in hockey either. A lot of hockey was played, especially in the 60s, was played by the wrist shot and stuff like that. Pucks always didn't have mass either in hockey because they didn't get the puck didn't come up that way.
That's insane.
It was more of a surface played type of a sport.
Still 60 miles an hour, even it doesn't sound like that fast, knowing that these guys can hit 100
pretty fast.
Well, considering now that some of these guys slap the puck 120 miles an hour, that's 60, half of that. Oh, what? I don't need a mask. I mean, 60 miles an hour is your speed limit on your car. Coming right at your face. We're going to take
a break now. When we come back, give us a call, 267-563-2893. We come back. Cashier King is going to I'm trying to earn you some more money. We've been on a nice little streak.
What are we doing?
Yeah, we're doing good. Mikey and I are we know what the hell we're doing.
We're pulling our weight.
That's right. The weight is being pulled. Sports Goombahs. We'll be back in a minute.
When you need a good roof over your head, call Seal Roofing. They've been keeping folks warm and dry for many years now and are proud of their work. Seal Roofing and Contracting does it all, whether you need simple repairs before the next big rainy season or a whole new roof. Maybe you need new siding or windows. You can be certain that when you hire Seal Roofing, you're hiring the best. Available 7 days a week with 24-hour emergency service and free estimates. Call 215-533-4066. That's 215-533-4066 or visit sealroofing.net.
BZI Group Inc. for your individual and small group health insurance needs. BZI offers free instant online insurance quotes and applications from major health insurance carriers. The BZI Group is dedicated to a no-nonsense approach to health insurance. They focus on giving you the insurance you need in a timely and cooperative manner. Whether you're looking for individual and family, group, seniors, life, or long-term coverage, BZI can help. For additional information or to speak with an insurance expert, call 1-800-431-4834 or email them at www.bzigroup.com.
Need an electrician? Think about adding surveillance or security to your home? Call Beacon Systems at 215-400-1151. Ask for Big Joe and tell him the Sports Goombahs sent you. That's 215-400-1151. They're the #1 electric installer in the Delaware Valley. Guaranteed customer satisfactions. That's Beacon Systems at 215-400-1151.
Had damage to your house? Avoid the hassle. Just call Castle Public Adjusters. Get the edge on your insurance company. 215-752-1237. That's 215-752-1237. Or check them out at castlepa.com. Don't settle for less. Get the maximum for your claim. Castle Public Adjusters. 215-752-1237.
Hey, yo, Cash, what are you doing?
I got plumbing problems here. I can't get the water to go down the drain. What am I going to do?
Call Guaranteed Plumbing, 215-342-7200 for all your plumbing needs. Serving the Philadelphia area and the greater Delaware Valley.
What was that phone number again?
215-342-7200.
Oh, yeah, oh. Sports Goombahs, Cashier King here. Shut the left Rant and Beef, making the wall. Rocking the 515 studios, buried somewhere in Pennsylvania. Deep, deep, deep dark. This is the Pick Session. Pick Session is brought to you by
Automatic Car Care.
That's right.
And that was coming.
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you what, man. It's been Automatic Car Care. I get it cleaned up, man. My truck is looking shabby, real shabby.
Yeah,
check out Automagic Car Care. Check them out at automagiccarcare.com.
And it's funny, as you mentioned that, I go over to Facebook, and the first thing I see is a picture from Automagic.
Yeah.
Another thing with this, the thing with car looks like a dump. Then they take it to Automagic.
It looks like a Maserati.
They just bought it out.
Yeah. 215-632. I'm a 215-631-2157. Is that right? Or is it 632?
I can never tell with your handwriting.
Jesus. Where is it? It's 215-322-2561. I don't know whose number I was given. Probably the massage power next to them. My bad. Automatic Car Care, 215-322-2561. Mikey Primo, Matty Litton, the best auto details in the Delaware Valley, bar none. Give them a call. Check them out at automagiccarcare.com. All right, last week I gave you the Texas-Toronto game, the over 9. It was easy money on that one, 8-5. Toronto scoring, averaging a touchdown a game now. If you were on them last week, which I was a couple times, you collected for sure. I'm on a 7-0 run from my last debacle, and even Mikey's throwing in a couple wins. Yeah, a win yesterday. Yeah, we got 2 touchdowns and an extra point on your game, didn't you?
Go 15-1. Those are the perfect games. You take the team, you score 5 in the first, you just kick it back.
Kick it back, yeah. Unlike those Little League World Series yesterday.
Yeah,
that was a shame, man. They came out. Was it
10-2?
10-2. What was it? It's Lewisburg or
Lewisburg.
Lewisburg boys. They came out there. They came out to a 10-run inning, and in the second inning they gave 10 runs back, and then the Japanese.
I know the kids. That's awful.
Yeah,
that's awful.
Yeah, that's a tough one to do, especially when you're thinking you got this thing locked up after the first inning. You know
how dominant they've been.
Another Pennsylvania team. You know,
choke them.
yeah, chokes. We put that one of the biggest chokes ever. Nah, you can't put the kids in that. That's the fact that they got there is a win as it is.
You may not want to put it. I mean, I don't care if the kids are not.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, hell with kids.
You put up a 10-run inning in the first inning in a championship game, and you lose.
Coach got to figure that one out. He's got to figure. I wouldn't.
Just imagine 09 World Series. We came out 10 strong in the first inning. We coughed it up.
You know what we would call it the
biggest.
No, you would call it an Andy Reid game. That's what basically you would call it.
All right, here's the plays. I got three good ones for you. I'm not giving out too many picks on the show. I like you to go to the website and take a look at them, but I got 3 tomorrow that I like. I got Detroit's coming into Kansas City. Kansas City once again is kicking ass and taking names. Not scoring a whole lot of runs, just winning ball games. So I'm off on the line, the run total with them right now. It scared me with that stuff, but they're laying a 150 to win 100 tomorrow. Detroit's out of it. I mean, we're not out of it. Nobody's out of it, but Detroit's giving up a little bit. Just this. I don't know what happened to them. They got sloppy. But coming into Kansas City is always a problem for any team, and it's going to be a problem for Detroit tomorrow. Second game, I have Toronto. Running over this game is 9. Toronto's going to get 9. You know what I mean? At this point, until they don't give me 9 runs, I'm going to stay on an over with them. Might even take the side total. I don't love the side total on this one. It's going to be 4.5, 5. I think Toronto's been scoring way too many runs. They got to have a game that they let a few down. But I think that Cleveland will score a couple on this one too. So I think that 9's a good number to be on the over. Third game I have tomorrow is the Phillies are at New York. Now, Mets came in here and destroyed the Phillies last week, and there's no reason why they're not going to destroy them in New York this week. With that being said, I don't like the game, but I like the over, the 4.5 for the Mets and the run total tomorrow. I don't care who's pitching for the Phillies at this point. The Mets are a strong club, and they're getting stronger, and now they're starting to become one of the better teams. They are one of the better teams in baseball right now. Sorry to say. And, I put them in one of the top 4, top 5 teams in baseball right now. I'm playing real well, getting good pitching and hitting the ball all over the place. So those are my 3 plays. Kansas City minus the 150, Toronto, Cleveland over the 9, New York Mets 4.5 run total on the side there. And that's our 3 plays. We're on a 7-0 run right now. Last week we were 1-0. Mikey, what do you got?
Last week I gave you the Astros over the I think I said worst pitcher in baseball was Ivan Nova. Well, he promptly gave up 15 runs. He'd give them up, but they lost 15-1. So I gave you the winner, an easy one. Take your money and run. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Yep. This week I do like this one. I don't know. The line just seems a little fishy to me, but
what's the line?
Minus 150.
That's a good number. I like that number. That 150 is my move line.
Yeah.
I see that. Anything above that, I like that 150. I see a home team with 150.
They are a road team, but when you have Garrett Cole, who is 15-7 with an ERA of 2.4 for Pittsburgh, against the stinky Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump on it.
Yeah.
So, again, it looks fishy, but you know what? So did the Astros line last week. So
you say so.
I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Minus 150.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh.
No, not in Pittsburgh.
In Milwaukee.
They're a road team, but
that could be the only hinky part of it.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
not that stadium, man. Not not Milwaukee. That Milwaukee hasn't played like you don't have that in Milwaukee. Their home and away thing isn't what they're you have to worry about with them. In baseball, like anything else, like right now, Toronto, they want to run here, man. You know they're going to lose something. It's now you jump on it. You don't know.
That's why,
it's tough.
You want to stay away because
baseball has so many games. It's tough like that because you don't want to. You jump in the wrong part. Like tomorrow.
It's so
Toronto's
big.
a minus 205 tomorrow. So if you jump on them tomorrow and you lose it, you're in the hole. You
can ride it for a little bit, but the second you lose it, you lost a lot.
Right. You got to start. You got to start on Monday. Work it that way so you got more games before Sunday. That's
you want to start after the loss. You want to wait for them to lose, then get back on.
Well, at Kansas City and Toronto, don't lose 2 in a row. They just don't. So when you wait,
that's what I said. Wait for the loss.
Yeah. And unfortunately, these two teams are losing right now. So you got to wait a little bit. Then the guy comes knocking on the door. You're still waiting. So we got three plays for you last week. Mike's on a pretty good run himself here because
2 straight.
He's 2
Maybe
straight,
3 straight.
2 straight. So we got
3 straight. Yeah,
we got 10-0 run as a show for the past couple of weeks, and that's making money because once again, if you're paying your bookie,
it ain't our fault,
that's
baby.
Right. This is the Sports Goombahs, powered by the SportsGoombahs.com. We give you plays every day, now and then. Like I said, check on our site. 1:00 games on Monday. Check us out at 12:30. During the week, 7:00, you check us out at 6:30. And every now and then I get a late game. I get a little itchy. Got nothing to do. Can't fall asleep.
About 30 seconds before a game starts, I'll throw it up there.
That's right. 30 seconds. You got to be quick. So get yourself all logged in and ready. And then,
And if it's a loser, he deletes it real quick.
9:59. Nah, that's one thing that when you're dealing with the Sports Goombahs and our betting here, when we lose, we let you know. We tell you, stay away.
He took it on the chin all of July.
Yeah on the chin. I'm black and blue. I've done it before. My record speaks for itself since 2006 when I started doing this crap. We're 63% winners in sports in general. And I'll tell you right now, the NFL season's coming up. I don't like NFL football.
I do.
Now, I don't like earning on NFL football, I should say. But I will give you plays on side totals in the NFL, which I think is the advantage point that you have to go with now with the way the NFL is scoring. You pick a team. You take your side totals, and you know who those teams are who are going to score. And the teams that score a lot of points on this, win or lose, they score those points. Because you're going to see the 52 to 30 games. You're going to see 45, 40 games. That's just the way the NFL is going to be now. Especially now. And once again, I'm sorry I don't know this, but the 2-point conversion is in play for the return or not?
For the third week, it is in play.
Right, in play. Okay. You have to say for the third week.
I'm just reminding you.
Look, I'm 52 years old. I'm starting to lose some of my senses here. Right now, like Mr.
He never had common sense, though.
I don't need common sense. I had common sense, I wouldn't have a show. You know what I mean? The hell's going to listen to a guy with common sense?
Now, before we move on to anything else, I saw some breaking news on the ticker here. The Raiders just made a release. Trent Richardson, whatever happened to that guy?
Wow.
Which we already mentioned the epic struggles of RG3. I mean, looking back at the 2012 draft, you had luck number one,
right?
The definition of a franchise quarterback. Then you follow that up with Griffin, Richardson, and number 5 is Justin Blackman, who smoked and drank himself out of the league. 3 of the top 5 guys are literally done 3 years later.
And that's precisely why we talked about Mariota and the rest of those crew coming out. And what's his name? How's Winston doing? I didn't even watch.
He had a great game last game.
Yeah, did he?
Yeah.
So
he looked awful his first one.
So when you look at Chip looking for that quarterback in the draft, it can be there in the 4th and 5th round.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be these first round guys. Once again, it's what comes with being the first round draft pick or the number 1 and 2 draft pick in the NFL. You get into the league before you even put the pads on. You are pulled here and there and everywhere. The distractions are out of control. So you got to be that special player. You got to be that Peyton Manning who can handle that stuff. And it's obviously a guy like Manning could handle that from day one. He was tooled and taught by his father. When you have a family, when it's instilled in your family, you're a pedigree coming from a person like that, you're already prepared for this. When you have nothing coming from, and you come in the NFL or you come out of college to be a professional sports player, an athlete, and you're not tutored in this, people come at you at all angles and you take from you. You're going left and right. You don't know who to say no to. But when the old man's been there, like Manning, and you look back at Manning, as when he was drafted number 1, what other quarterback was drafted like he was and is successful? And you've heard nothing about Manning. You don't hear about his family.
You hear a lot about his family.
Well, no. Okay, when I say family,
you mean
the wife.
Direct,
you know his wife is?
I know you meant.
You ever seen his wife?
No, I haven't.
But you never cared to see his wife. You know how many kids he has? His twins, actually, but you didn't know that.
Girls?
I don't know. They're twins. That's all I know. But it's like, and how come I'm not even interested? Other players, Brady, you want to know who he's banging.
Not anymore, though, right?
What?
Brady, he's settled down.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not comparing to what it is right now. I'm saying in general.
We had the whole thing. I mean, granted, he wasn't a first-round pick, but Romo.
Yeah, Romo.
He always had a new girl every week.
Yeah, Romo. The girl, his female crap ruined him.
Rodgers is kind of getting that way with his off the field things. You want to know who he's with. He's always with another girl and stuff.
Well, he's
shacked up with that Olivia Mum girl.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And now
that's it.
That's.
I thought it was serious with her.
Whatever it is,
It's
not serious, but it isn't played out to be serious. No, once you found out, it was done. That's it. No, I really don't care.
Unfortunately, you have to hear about Russell Wilson and his stupid.
Yeah, because they make it that way. Because it's got more than just a relationship. They have a point to make with everybody.
Yeah.
They want to show the world there's a way of being. And they using him as his quarterback as a quarterback at his soapbox that he on, and the fact that he could stand up and say something and people will listen because he has a Super Bowl ring. That ring's important.
Yeah,
it's like being able to play golf. If you can play golf, good golf, people want to hang with you.
Is that what it is?
The crew's asking me to play more now. Why is that? Not because I'm available, because I'm playing. When we get up to the green, I'm with them. I'm not back in the fairway, still hitting my fifth shot. Now I'm putting for par. Everybody's like that. Mitch can play. I call him on the phone. We'll
Day
put
did
him
it again too. That guy
Day
did it again this weekend.
Day what?
Jason Day.
What did he do?
He won the US Open
again.
and then he won.
Oh, all right.
He won over the weekend again too.
We'll get to that.
Review your plays.
No, I did my play review. Right.
You didn't review them though.
I did review them.
You did?
Yeah, I went through them.
All right.
All right. So I was at the Phillies game this week, and I with my boy Zim from BZI group.
Did you have to go or you wanted to go?
Well, he said I had some tickets, and it was a dead day, so it was a Saturday. All my babes were out of town or with other guys.
Oh, you're what?
Is Harim.
Harim, I had him at base. Well, they were busy. So I went down there, and we get down. The place is packed. They must have had something. They had that fan fest going on down. I don't know what the hell that was. It looked like more like a sausage fest to me. There was a fan fest, And then they had something going over at the stadium. Some band was there, so it was a big crowd down there. Got in the stadium was pretty crowded for Saturday, and the weather was perfect. It wasn't hot, and sticky. It was good. And the seats that we had down there, we're not mine or his. No one's around us. So Zim and I, we had 5 seats. We're spread out all over the place, and it was but the noise was like it was before the All-Star game, where everybody's on the phone. There's gourmet food going on all over the place. Everybody's eating. No one's watching the game. They're all on their phones, taking pictures. They're at the Fanatic all over the place. They're giving away all kinds of stuff. No one cares about the game.
It sounds like a party at the chef's house.
Well, it's gotten to a point to where it's back to where it was before. They're losing ball games, they're winning. It's not the run's not there. Even though they weren't running for anything before, when you win 11 out of 15 games, that's it's a big deal. You want to see them win more and more. Utley's gone. The team has changed, and the players have changed. Fortunately, if you were smart enough to watch some of this, and I was watching some of the players that are out there on that field now, pretty good. Mm-hmm. They got some good bats. They got this guy Sweeney came up there, ripped the ball over the fence, made some mistakes in the game, but for the most part, it looks promising. The whole infield looks sharp. Freddie Galvis, if he's not going to hit the baseball, we got to get rid of him. I mean,
whoa, that was a quick turn.
Well, here's my thing. I mean, I'm being the reality of it. If there's somebody better behind him, and I think there is, and if he can hit,
there will be. There's not yet.
I don't know if anybody would take with Freddie's bat. I don't know who would take him at this point, unless they have an injury on the team. I mean, he's
not going to be a hot commodity,
and he's making mistakes out there too.
Somebody would take him physically, but
there's another thing too. They're moving him around a little bit. He's third, short, back and forth. They're moving around.
That's never good, though.
The arms in this outfield are good. And that's what I did notice. A couple plays at the plate weren't outs, but the balls were thrown like lasers. Even Dominic Brown had a couple good plays, but I can't stomach him, man. I just
Yeah, I know.
He's just got to go. I mean, he's got. And I guess he's here because of contract, or nobody wants him. I don't know.
Both.
Well, why keep him here? He's another guy he's not your future. Why keep him here? He's.
But the thing with Freddie, to answer your question about Freddie Galvis, there's nothing ready in the system right now. and it's not going to hurt you to keep him another year.
Yeah,
and he's young.
He's young.
I mean, he's 5 years.
And
5
maybe
years in now. So, and he looks sloppy in the box. He's moving all over the place. Fortunately, we're in one of these seats where you have the TV right in front of us showing the play seconds after it went off. So and Freddie's all over the place in the box. He's not settled. And he's late on everything. Way late. I mean, concernably late. I mean, late for a baseball player. You hear the pop and the back swinging, and what were you were guessing, and you were guessing wrong.
Yeah. And
you can't have that. Freddie he does all the fundamentals right. Lays down the bunt nice, makes the plays, turns the ball around. He's got baseball awareness. The bat's not there for him. And it's like you said, he's still young, but I don't think he's fortunate. I don't think he's the future of this team.
No.
I think back when I was a kid, Larry Bowa had the same problem.
I was just going to bring that up
too.
He
was a great fielder, and he couldn't hit, and then Pete Rose came to the team. All of a sudden, everybody became good. But prior to that, the Phillies had made the playoffs a couple years, 77, 78. And Bowa started hitting him. He wasn't a home run hitter. Maybe he could pick off 5 to 10 in a season if he was lucky. He choked up on that bat. Mm-hmm. You don't see the choke up too much anymore in baseball. In fact, I can't think of one player right now in Major League Baseball that chokes up on the bat like he used to do. I think there was a couple other
Bonds used to do
Bonds used to choke up on the bat and hit home runs, which was
scary.
And he did that young, and he didn't before the steroid action, allegedly steroid action. So the choke up is gone, but I think something like that would help Freddie Galvis because of I just think that he has to. Am I right? A late swinger should choke up on the bat. Makes sense. For the most part.
You mean just if you want to make contact in general?
I just want him to make contact. I don't need Freddie hitting the ball over the outfield. I don't need him doubles. I just need him on base. He's down to bat in 8th now. And that's because they're not going to throw him anything anyway now since he's batting 8th. If the pitcher's behind him, it's going to be even worse for him. You just think a player like down at 8, what is he going to get? Unless he's got runners on base, he's getting nothing for the most part. So that's a problem with that.
Now, you mentioned the outfield, had some good throws and things like that. With Frank Core, he's playing very well. Yeah. He's playing for what he is. Do you care to see him back next year or no?
Wow, I like him. How old is he?
31, I believe.
31. So he's got, he's a pinch hitter. And if he's
on a good team, yeah. I mean, for here he should start.
He could start.
But he could be our pinch hitter. He could be, I think he could be a pinch hitter on this team. I think, a player like that, he's valuable if he's coming up, every other game, every 2 games. I mean, if you need to put him in there for the outfield, why I say he's 30, you can't put him with defensive. I don't know. He seems to lead the league in pinch hits right now, or pinch hit home runs or something like that.
He did in the past. He was a good pitcher. But here's the thing. It's fine for now. He can be your everyday or mostly everyday outfielder, and like you said,
but it's not fine for now. You
have to fine for now because you know what?
They want to put the players in that you want to see in the future. I don't want a guy
exactly. But here's the point: you don't have anybody to fill that slot right now.
No, there is somebody to fill.
No. It's you don't want to bring up a kid that isn't ready, and this is why is it okay to have patience with the Sixers? And now the Phillies are trying to finally do something the right way. And you're like, get somebody in there now. I want to see him now.
First of all, it's completely different with baseball and basketball. The amount of players you get to choose from in baseball quadruples basketball. Basketball, you're bringing players off your bench. There's no farm team in basketball. Who are you bringing up? In baseball, you got AA, AAA. You got players you're moving around all over the place. You mean to tell me in that tire they can't bring someone up there to put them up there to see what he can do? Yes. If he can't, you send him back down.
Well, they brought up Altera. He's been hitting 3rd.
I like Altera. Yeah. I'd rather see Altera in there instead of Frank Core because I know Altera's going to be here for a few years if he. You
understand the whole principle. When you bring them up for a certain amount of time, you have to pay them. Okay, because this weighs into a huge strategy of things. Because if you do that, you ruin their rookie status. You ruin everything that is important about grooming a young player. Mm-hmm. Okay, and it does mean it. You're right. It's totally different from basketball. In basketball, you're 3 years old. You can be a college kid in basketball, and there is no adjusting to a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. You go in and you shoot the ball, and maybe you play a little defense. So when you're 18, you come out of high school. By the time you can have a beer, you're NBA ready. It doesn't work like that in baseball. Okay,
that's because you got the pick of the crop. You got so many more players to pick from through the years. You got the farm clubs. You got AAA, AA.
You got like what?
You got college. There's so many more to pick from in baseball.
Twice the amount of teams means twice the amount of rosters too. Roster spots. There's only 6 roster spots.
You can't compare the two sports. You really can't compare a 12-man roster to a 24-man roster.
I'm comparing the grooming process. That's what I'm preparing. That's what I'm preparing. That's what I'm comparing. You can be 3 years. You could be 21 years old and be an NBA ready player.
What's the
but
point?
You can't.
What's the point? Did you want Frank Gore to stick around?
If you're not gonna, if there is nobody ready, what's the point in building a team with ready to play? Like throwing a kid to the wolves.
Frank Gore didn't play the other day. They have somebody here.
I'm not saying he is that they don't have somebody. You're saying bring somebody up is what you were saying.
Right. They did bring somebody up.
They have what they have up now.
Where's Sweeney playing? What's he?
He's like a center fielder, second base.
Okay, yeah. So Sweeney's out there. He was playing. I thought he was playing right field on Saturday night.
He may have been. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought he was. Yeah, I think the Browns started out there. Center field was they all sound the same to me. Bottom line is who they had out there in center field, the outfield. They actually had these guys are hitting home runs. These guys are hitting the ball hard. I mean, some of them are fly outs there, but we were talking about how the Phillies have no home run hitters in that outfield. Well, it's starting to look like some of these guys that are there can hit the ball, which is that's a promise right there. Frank Gore, he's off the bench for me. That's all. He's too old for a team like this. You want to get everybody in the same age bracket down there and bring in a free agent, pitcher next year or somebody with power who can play first base. I mean, well, then I say that, and then I look at what's his name? Was it Rupp? But
Cameron Rupp.
He's starting to.
He's a backup catcher.
Yeah, and the first baseman. What's the other guy's first baseman? The guy that gets in there for Howard.
Rough.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah, he should. I don't know why he's still here. I mean, they brought him out 2 years ago. I mean, they grooming him. I mean,
he's not grooming. He's gonna be 30 years old next year.
Yeah, he can't hit he can't hit anything that breaks.
I think he's close to whatever contract he has, but at this point, it costs so little money to pay him for what he's bringing to the table. At this point, you don't start making moves.
And it's funny because we're talking about with Darren Ruff grooming. You use the word grooming when we're talking about Darren Ruff, and you say Frank Gore is old. Yeah, but Frank Gore is 2 years older than him.
But exactly. He's been in the league though.
I know. I'm not saying you're stupid. I'm just saying it's funny how you think that way of like, we've been talking about Darren Ruff for like 3 years now. Can he be this? Like he's what he's gonna be. He's 30.
You've been in the minor leagues a long time. You're beat up. It's a different way of life down there. A guy coming out of the minors in his late 20s has been, he's been for a career down there.
Yeah.
If you're still in the minors when you're 25, you're probably not going to be.
Not exactly true because Howard
was 26 when he came up.
I don't know if he was 26.
25, 26.
I know. I'd say like 25. Yeah,
25. All right, Howard missed out on.
But here's the thing: didn't we know that was the thing? Back then, we knew about Ryan Howard. We knew about players in our system because they were making a disturbance. They were doing well. You don't hear anything like that. Our system was robbed and purged. That's why that outfielder you're looking for to take Frank Gore's spot isn't there.
Should be.
It should be, but we pissed away our future.
But theoretically, it theoretically could be there. I mean, if you wanted to go young, and that was it, you don't want to worry about it. You could go, Herrera in center, Altera in right, and then Ashley in left. You could do that if you wanted to.
I'm not sold on Ashley in left, but he's getting better, and I'm not sold on Ashley's bad either. So regardless, I don't want the only veterans I want on this team I'm a veteran first baseman who can hit the ball. I want someone with power on first base on this team. I'm a coach. I'm an owner. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for my free agent first baseman who can hit the ball out of here. They don't grow on trees. I know. Well, I know. I understand that.
I'm trying to think of all the people they've acquired in these last couple of trades because I'll give them that. They did a good job. You're 2 years away from expiring contracts and a presentable team on the field. Because by that point, you're back up. The catcher they got in the trade will be probably major league ready. your outfielder or your he's playing now. So you got a couple of guys that are going to be ready, not next year, but the year after.
Regardless, right now the team's no good. It's not a whole lot of fun to watch. It's a good time at the ballpark. A lot of food to be eaten there. Some crazy people down there. Some people doing some crazy stuff. Is what we saw down there, and that's what it's going to be like at the Phillies games for the next couple of years. It's called national pastime. Well, that's what you'll be doing down there, passing some time, because that's the way it's going to be. So enjoy it. Hope the food gets better down there.
Here's the thing,
you know, hot dog down there, man. I'm telling you. We figure we get a couple hot dogs like this, not the ones that shoot out of the cannon, because they didn't do that. It wasn't dollar dog. Like, figured I get one of those regular watered down out of the, just for the hell of it. On the roll.
Heartburn City?
No, it wasn't. I didn't get the heartburn. Spit it out after I bit into it. You know what I mean? I just didn't like the way it felt when I bit down.
Complainer.
Hey, you know what?
You know where you got to go to? You got to go. You got to go to the the little venues. They have the hot sauce.
The Hatfield stand.
Yeah, they make them. They're grilling them on the thing there. At least you can eat it, man. Yeah. I'm telling you.
You know what? I wanted to see how good your memory was, because you were talking about Larry Boa, about how he was. He only had 1 year where he even hit over 280, 2 years where he hit over 280, and it was 75 and 76. But to your credit, he killed it in the postseason in the 80s when they went to the World Series. Yeah. And that was I think that's what you're remembering with Pete Rose.
But
his lifetime average is only 260.
Yeah, but Boa was so good. He was such a good fielder, and he got timely hits. But he also had a lot of power around him. You're sitting there with Schmidt and Zinski, and every year they were bringing another power hitter on that team. So he just had to he was a contact hitter. And when you choke up on the bat, you're a contact hitter unless you're Bonds. I still there's some other player out there who used to choke up and was really good. I can't remember who it was.
Was it Griffey?
No.
Griffey wasn't choking. Nah. Griffey.
Yeah, straight.
I'm thinking I'm
picturing
a left-handed batter. Well, I know what you're talking about. And I'm trying to think of who it is.
Bo was switch. When he was switch-handed, he was left and right. Bo was a switch hitter.
Brett Butler.
I couldn't tell you. I can't even picture.
Dodgers. Dodgers switch hitter, bunt master extraordinaire.
Yeah,
he's a choker. Yeah, he was a choker.
I don't know. I don't.
Telling you.
I can't even remember what Brett Butler looked like. I know he was a skinny guy with a little hat.
What? I don't even know what that means.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, maybe he was a little player. He was a small guy. Small guy used to wear the hat down low over his eyes. Who cares about Brett freaking Butler?
You asked a question. I answered.
I know, earlier you were talking about the no hitter with the Dodgers and the Cubs and all that.
Yeah, you know what? That was the weirdest end of a no hitter I've ever seen. I mean,
weirder than Cole's.
Well, Cole's was at least it was when you say weird. What are you talking about weird?
Well, what are you talking about when you say weird?
Well, I said you
said the weirdest ending. You're the one who brought it up.
Well. But you say weirder than Cole. So
a guy running back to a wall, then falling, and
this wasn't about the play. The plays were done. Utley struck out, and the pitcher's standing there on the mound. And usually they throw the glove up. It's almost like you want a playoff.
Probably
game.
Expected it.
Nah, it wasn't. The catcher's walking up, and usually catcher's excited, jumps up, and they do their rap. And it was delayed like 4 or 5 seconds, and it just his hand comes out like this, and then. Other than the second baseman coming in there and doing some uppercuts to the pitcher's back, that was the euphoria wasn't there. It's like silent. Even the stands were kind of and I'm on the phone with a friend of mine, and he's saying something's weird about this. And then you figured you get a couple good interviews. It was real fast. Boom, boom, boom. They interviewed him real quick. He talked. He fight the fans, but out of there, gone. So is it that the no hitters started to happen too frequent that it's not a big deal anymore?
I get the updates. I don't even ask for them, but Yahoo sends my phone all the time. I'm not even surprised when I see him anymore. I'm just Cubs pitcher Jake Arter. All right, cool. It really is becoming too frequent. I feel like.
Yeah, right. I've texted B-Zip 7 times in the past a month and a half. We got one brewing. One's in the 8th, one's in the 7th, stuff like that. We watched you on the other night. They got beat up in the 9th.
Verlander.
Verlander, right? I wanted to see. I was going for his 3rd, right?
3rd career, yeah.
Yeah, and what he hung one up there or whatever, and it got
I didn't see the final hit or pitch. I know it was in the 9th.
It's amazing how brutal that 9th inning becomes for these no hitters. The pressure's on them and all that stuff. It's got to get in your head. Well, you're right. The no hitter is becoming way more frequent. Is that because I think that's because the players can't hit. That's the way I look at it. I mean,
I think the word you were looking for was anticlimactic. Like you were expecting some kind of celebration, and I was just like, okay.
No, not the celebration, just the more euphoria after the play. After they do it's a big deal.
I think if you looked in the dictionary, euphoria after that would be called celebration. Yeah,
right. But yeah. Well, I don't need champagne bottles popping. Although Coles Hamels, they popped champagne and they drank themselves silly because they knew shipping them out of town.
Yeah.
That has to be the most insane trade, insane exit of a city for a player, that you're getting rid of because he throws a no-hitter and then he's gone. You know what I mean?
And of course it had to be us, right?
They did that. Did they do that to Jim Bunning when they traded him for Rick Wise or Jim Bunning was traded for. No, I'm sorry, not Jim Bunning. Rick Wise threw a no-hitter. He's traded for Steve Carlton to St. Louis back in the day. Back in like 71, which is probably one of the greatest trades ever made for Philly. I mean, as far as value was concerned.
Talk about great trades of the Cubs when they got Arrieta, who's still young. Yep. The Orioles just gave up on him. They basically
17 wins.
Handed him. No, you can't possibly.
They posted something about 17. I don't know what they meant with that last night. 17-7. I don't know.
He hasn't made starts
17
yet.
wins. Yeah, there's no way. Nobody's up in that realm right now. 17 wins. Are they in baseball? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, now it's like in this time, pitchers they have 13 to 15 wins is big right now.
So yeah, he's 13 and he's third in the league.
Yeah.
So he's definitely
So our top pitcher we have Scherzer. Is he still? I haven't watched him. Washington's playing so bad, man.
Apparently Arrieta does have. I don't know what I was looking at because
does have 17.
When I clicked on his name, it said he was 13 wins.
He does have 17.
See, right here, Jake Arrieta 13, but then I clicked on him, he has 17. So yeah, he's 17. That just shows how much baseball I'm paying attention to.
17 wins, that's big.
I knew he was good. I didn't think he was that good.
That's huge for this time of year. You got a whole nother month of baseball.
Yeah.
Cubs are starting to make a run too. Little.
I'm glad they are.
Yeah, it's about time, man.
How are they? I'll never understand when a big market team is so bad for so long.
Well,
I'll never understand it.
Especially with such it's one of those iconic, stadiums. It's not like I don't want to say Citizens Bank Park isn't good, but it doesn't have the history. It doesn't have the ambiance. It's good, but it doesn't have 115 years backing behind it to go, hey, because guess what? If I visit Boston or if I visit Chicago, I'm going to those places just because they're like, okay, touristy. I don't even want to say that, but if
really
you're
know
baseball,
how this equates to winning.
Yeah,
no, but like when you have that, I'm saying this, it equates to ticket sales because people want to go there. And it's not like you're hurting for money because you're
that's what I'm saying, but
you're always sold out. That's what I'm segueing to. You always money wise, money can't be an excuse.
But yeah, they've always had money. But
exactly,
they've never been good. They haven't been good in 10 years.
That's what I was gearing at. I was going that
the
route,
long route.
The long route because these are places that you want to visit and see.
Mm-hmm. Nothing. Get some in your head.
He's going to say something profound.
No, really.
Oh, okay.
You had a look. I'll give him that. You had a look. But like I said, I mean, I'm glad the Cubs are doing good again. Just like you said, the lovable loser has been their tag for so long.
Each sport has their team like that. You got the Cubs, and in football you have who has been in the Super Bowl. The football Cleveland Browns.
That's what a lovable loser. No one really loves.
Well, what I'm saying, their team.
They're just losers.
See, I never liked the Cubs though. I never liked them.
Yeah, but Cleveland's a big market team. They've been in sports all they haven't had. You can't think of many outside of Cleveland Browns. Has there another team that hasn't had a shot at the Super Bowl?
Detroit.
Another team, Detroit too, right?
The Eagles.
The Eagles been in Super Bowls.
Yeah, I know.
These teams haven't been in Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I mean, Cleveland won championships.
I think the Cardinals are the next longest.
Arizona went in there.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but like of the long.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that Cleveland won championships before the NFL had a Super Bowl. They won a couple of NFL titles.
Because they won when there was only 6 teams.
Yeah, you go.
Everybody had a shot at that one.
You go to basketball, like the Atlanta. I don't know if the Atlanta Hawks have ever won a title.
No, but it's not all about just winning titles or that. Because
but I mean, appearing in
when you think of lovable losers in basketball, if anything, you think of like the Knicks. They're a joke of a franchise. But they shouldn't be. That's all.
Exactly. Yeah.
The Clippers used to be the same way.
Well, you know what? It's not.
Clippers were the original
It's nothing to do with the stadiums and the place you play. You got bad management, bad ownership. That's what happens. The ownership. The ownership expresses. ownership, it trickles down. If your owner's a crap, your team's crap. And I'm trying to think how many instances that's not true. And you look at, I can't say Steinbrenner was crap. Wasn't the nicest guy in the world, but he has ups and downs. But he had winners out there. But you look at the Redskins organization is crap when it changed it. I mean, when they changed owners, and the owner stinks, and he's no good, and the team's no good. It all trickles down to that. And it's just the way it is. I mean, you look at the Patriots ownership. He's a good owner. He takes care of everybody. Takes care of the city, and people like him. And it trickles down to the teams. It's the way it is.
Now, I mean, is there a correlation? I don't know how much you know about baseball, but like with Theo Epstein was like the guy behind the Red Sox that got him there. He left, went to Chicago, took the Chicago job. They've pretty much been trash for the past 5 years or so. The Red Sox. I mean, I think
and you see the slow buildup of Chicago.
Yeah. So
you see it.
The poor management's finally gone in Chicago, and he's
look at Philadelphia. We had the general manager Pat Gillick was in here. He built the team up, and then when he left, the team left. The team went down. Now, when you look at the Philadelphia ownership, there's multiple people here. There's an organization. There's not a one guy running the show, which I'm not sure that's so good in professional sports.
No, I think it's when it comes to owner. I don't think it matters that much.
Well,
in baseball, if anything, it does because they directly influence the salary. They're going to spend. But
picks his manager, his general manager, his controller over it. You look at Jeffrey Lurie in the Eagles. He's his first general manager or president.
Yeah, but for his friend. For 80% of the teams, they really have they don't do anything.
Yeah, I think the most influence is in sports that don't have a salary cap, because then they can tell you, hey, stop. I mean, like 50 million, 50 million salary cap. Okay, I have a number. Mm-hmm. They're not going to mess with me unless I get towards that number. If they tell me it's 35. But when you have like the Phillies thing, it's like, hey, checkbook, we're winning. We need more. 80, 90, 120. And all of a sudden, you go from a team that had a $30 million payroll to 120. And then you got all these birds chirping in the ear. Cheap, 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 cheap. And boom.
You end up with this.
Yep. And aftermath.
I agree.
Yeah, so he's like becoming the Chase Utley's becoming the man when it comes. Trust you, the man, Chase Utley, when it comes to being part of no hitters. What's that? Three in a month?
Yep.
Between the Hamels and the two Dodgers, that's pretty good. That's got to be
three in less than a month. It's like 3 weeks span.
Three within a month. Three no hitters in a month. I don't know. There's many players who can say they participated in that many no hitters in that short of time.
Yeah, but he hasn't been on the winning side every time.
Yeah, well, no, I'm saying we just been in no hitters. It's one thing you can be a part of that. Well, like you said, now it's happening more frequently to a player could actually be there in 1 month, being three of them. And in the beginning of the season, we've had 5 of them already. We
didn't have one a while.
Yeah,
in the beginning, in the very beginning, it started off pretty slow, and I think that one, the no-name Giants guy, threw one.
Yeah,
that kind of opened the floodgates.
Yeah, and
I don't know,
and that's what it is. But there's been a lot of close calls, which is what you're saying. That the ability to get to a no-hitter spot is becoming easy. The perfect game is to lose everybody. I think, to go without a without a walk on error. Do we have one perfect game right this year? Did San Francisco he throw a perfect or no?
No perfect game. I think it's 6 no hitters so far, but no perfect games. It might have been 6 this last one or 7.
It's 6.
6. Okay, I was right. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Let's take a break. Cash the King, Chef the Leper, and B. Might get a wall. When we get back, we got the Wall Report coming up. They're brewing. It's supposed to be something real interesting.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Of course. Sure.
It's always something interesting.
Yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
When you need a good roof over your head, call Seal Roofing. They've been keeping folks warm and dry for many years now and are proud of their work. Seal Roofing and Contracting does it all, whether you need simple repairs before the next big rainy season or a whole new roof. Maybe you need new siding or windows. You can be certain that when you hire Seal Roofing, you're hiring the best. Available 7 days a week with 24-hour emergency service and free estimates. Call 215-533-4066. That's 215-533-4066 or visit sealroofing.net.
BZI Group Inc. for your individual and small group health insurance needs. BZI offers free instant online insurance quotes and applications from major health insurance carriers. The BZI Group is dedicated to a no-nonsense approach to health insurance. They focus on giving you the insurance you need in a timely and cooperative manner. Whether you're looking for individual and family, group, seniors, life, or long-term coverage, BZI can help. For additional information or to speak with an insurance expert, call 1-800-431-4834 or email them at www.bzigroup.com.
Need an electrician? Think about adding surveillance or security to your home? Call Beacon Systems at 215-400-1151. Ask for Big Joe and tell him the Sports Goombahs sent you. That's 215-400-1151. They're the #1 electric installer in the Delaware Valley. Guaranteed customer satisfactions. That's Beacon Systems at 215-400-1151.
Had damage to your house? Avoid the hassle. Just call Castle Public Adjusters. Get the edge on your insurance company. 215-752-1237. That's 215-752-1237. Or check them out at castlepa.com. Don't settle for less. Get the maximum for your claim. Castle Public Adjusters. 215-752-1237.
Hey, yo, Cassie, what are you doing?
I got plumbing problems here. I can't get the water to go down the drain. What am I going to do?
Call Guaranteed Plumbing, 215-342-7200 for all your plumbing needs. Serving the Philadelphia area and the greater Delaware Valley.
What was that phone number again?
215-342-7200.
Oh, yeah, oh. Yeah, we're back. Sports Goombahs. Cashy King here. Shut the left, Brendan B. Back in the 515 studios. Here, buried somewhere. Bucks County, Pennsylvania. There's a call 267-563-2893. Sports Goombahs hotline. We're on Twitter too. If you don't want to talk, you can always tweet us at
Sports Goombahs.
On Facebook too. You want to go in there?
You want to follow me? Do it at Walpeasy.
There it is. There it is. Facebook followers do we have now?
Facebook followers?
A little over 500,000.
Well, under 500,000, I think.
A little under 500. No, I was kidding. I don't know what we have on Facebook. I'm not a Facebook guy.
No, I'm talking about Twitter.
Twitter. So you said the wrong thing. Twitter, we have 1,400.
1,400. That's not bad for guys like us.
It's regular Joes.
Unknown superstars. Up and cutting. Last half hour is brought to you by the BZI Group. You can check these guys at bzi.com. My man B. Zimmerman. 1-800-431-4834. Check them out at bzigroup.com. You having trouble with this Obamacare crap? It is crap, actually. It's good for some people, but man, I'll tell you what. My deductible one went from $4,000 to $10,000. I don't even know how much. I just keep paying, man. I keep peeling out. Everything goes wrong, just peel out some more. But he will direct you in the right way, show you what you need to have. Not a problem. That's bzigroup.com. BZI Group Insurance, 800-431-4834. My name is Brian Zimmerman. He'll take good care of you.
And also, don't forget, Wednesday nights, you get to see Mikey the Wall there with his draft party report.
Hell yeah. Check it out. Wednesday, 8 p.m. right here, sgshow.net.
Yeah. NBA lost a past star. I don't even want to call him a star, but he was an icon in the NBA. Darryl Dawkins croaked. He bought it. I don't know how he bought it. We have a heart attack? Then they said how he died.
Yeah, yes. Heart attack.
It's a heart attack. 58-year-old heart attack. Big guy, man. 6'9", 6'9", 6'10", I think he was.
Big thick guy.
Huge dude. I remember him when he came to the league. He was drafted the first time the Sixers drafted a player out of a high school. And he came in there under the tutelage of Julius Erving, George McGinnis, Doug Collins was on them team in 1977. team went to the NBA final, and what I remember mostly is, forget who Dawkins swung at. They had a fight against the Trailblazers. It took a swing, and the return swing came back from the player he was hitting, which I'll figure that out by the end of the show, I hope.
No shot.
No shot. Right during the wall report, I'll figure it out.
I'll look it up.
Anyway, Dougie Collins got a black eye, busted nose, whatever. And after that, the Sixers went down and blew a 2-0 lead to lose the NBA title to the Portland Trailblazers. But Dawkins was mostly known for, very jovial guy, he was like a character, but he used to bust backwards. I mean, it was the first time I saw a player dunk a ball and all the glass come flying. I can remember Julius Erving underneath the net, coming back, looking up and covered himself as the glass is draped all over him.
Mm.
But his first backboard wasn't his only. He had several more. I think he had a couple more with the Sixers, and even when he went to New Jersey Nets after he was traded in the early 1980s. But Dawkins was he was an okay player. He was just huge. He was the first. What did you say? Thick. He was just like
he was thick.
He was thick,
Real
man.
thick.
I mean, he did his job inside. He couldn't dribble the ball and didn't have much of an outside shot, but he was, he put the ball up in the basket when he was in close. And I think he came back to haunt the Sixers. I think after they won the title in 83, Jersey knocked them out in 84. I think Dawkins was part of that team, I believe, back then.
Yes.
But it died of a heart attack, age 58. It's a shame, people going down lately in sports, And they say heart attack. Who knows what else could be? But I'll take heart attack. I'm tired of hearing concussions and players shooting themselves and stuff like that, and having drug situations. I can't believe I say it's cool.
Yeah,
That's a heart attack. Yeah, at least it was a heart attack.
I'm pumped he had a heart attack.
It's just different, man. You used to hearing,
Speaking
not in
concussions.
Yeah, speaking about concussions, did you see any of you guys catch that preview for Will Smith's movie Concussion?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, it's a movie, so I don't really have much interest in seeing it.
You don't have an interest in seeing it?
No, I'm an entire movie based on concussions. Doesn't really sound like something I really want to watch.
From what I've seen, what I gather, it's I guess based on some kind of conspiracy of the NBA not wanting that getting out.
NFL
or NFL, sorry, of not
the whole movie's based around the guy who he is like the founder of CTE or whatever that is, and he is actually the guy who did the autopsy. One of the guys who did the autopsy on Junior Seau.
And supposedly discovered a new brain disease from severe repetitive.
Now I was hoping
trauma.
the NFL would come out and just completely, so I would say something negative, but they didn't.
Disavow it.
They actually said we are encouraging this movie and the study of brains and blah 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 blah. So of course they had to take the political, they support it, I guess.
Interesting. I thought it would be a totally different take on that.
Not the NFL now.
I didn't know about the movie, hear about it. Like I said, I don't, see a movie about concussions. I don't know.
If it's not on Showtime, he's not watching it.
Yeah, it doesn't draw.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care to see this at all. Yeah. An entire movie built around head trauma. It doesn't sound fun, interesting. Like I'm not one of the people who are like, oh, that's too depressing for me. I don't care.
Is it Dr. Will Smith in the movie?
He's a doctor. Yeah,
he's a doctor. Okay. He portrays a doctor.
I don't want to see Will Smith as a doctor. No, it's not like I like to see his.
What do you want to see Will Smith?
Like in Bad Boys 1 and 2.
That's what you want to see. You want to see a 50-year-old man being a street thug.
Hey, the Bad Boys 3 is coming, baby.
They were cops, man.
Okay.
Bad Boys 3 is coming.
I'm 52. Yeah, I know it's coming. That's why I said it. I'm 52. I can act like a thug.
No, you can't.
I can't, huh?
No, you can't.
I want to see him shooting aliens. That's what I want. I want.
First of all, Will Smith doesn't look like he's in his 50s. And when Hollywood gets done making you up and putting you together, you can look like.
I actually have no idea how old Will Smith is.
De Niro's 105. All right, and he's still putting him in the movies. Okay, listen. The bottom line is, we all can't be Chris Pratt. Now this is Hollywood, man. See this guy?
I can't believe you,
Christopher Pratt, the man. Big. I mean, come on, dude.
I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not gonna get into it.
It's you know what?
It's the biggest. It is the biggest 180 that I've ever seen.
Yep.
In any category in my entire life.
You're not gonna win.
Me liking Chris Pratt?
Yeah.
If you can't smell the sarcasm from what he's doing,
No,
over
it's not
here-
sarcasm.
Yes, it is. It's so.
No, it's not.
It's so sarcastic.
No, it's
that
not. He told us he sat around as an adult and watched a Lego movie by himself.
I was kidding you, man. I didn't watch it.
I know you. I saw it. I saw it on your DVR.
I saw it come by on the TV. You know, when you're scrolling through, it says Chris Pratt, the Lego movie.
And I'm going to quote the Lego movie. You are so disappointing on so many levels.
What does that mean?
Okay, there you go. He didn't say it. He just proved it right there. He was. I told you it was sarcasm. He doesn't care.
No, he does. I'm telling you right now, he does.
The man crush love for Chris Pratt is not in that ounce of that body right there.
I'm telling you right now, it is.
Not a single.
It's the same thing as like when you pick on a girl when you're in elementary school all the time
because
you like her
because you had a crush on her.
Yeah, that's what he does.
So yeah, he's gonna walk up to Chris Pratt, pull his hair, say, "Yeah."
He full-fledged enjoys Chris Pratt in his movies and thinks he's a superstar.
Chris Pratt. Did you guys see the VMAs yesterday?
I would never watch that. Okay. You couldn't pay me to watch
I have a 6-year-old
train wreck.
I have a 6-year-old daughter who did, and she was telling me what was going on with that. So I flipped it on. I saw it on YouTube stuff with the
outfits.
No, forget the outfit. Justin Bieber crying on stage, man. I mean, come on.
I used to watch this when I was young, but it was I can't.
I'm just watching the whole thing and the fighting between the people on there. And I'm thinking to myself, what is this?
And what do you call it's going to run for president, right? Yeah,
no,
in 2020. Yeah,
we
got something to look forward to at least.
Yeah, first of all, the Kardashians will have destroyed him in the next year or two. He'll be a worthless man. He'll be in the streets. Something will happen to him. They have eaten him alive, which they probably have done already, for the most part. But the
Kardashians are the Walking Dead.
They pretty much are. I mean, they are. But they're Walking Dead with the cash register. That's for sure. Tell you the truth,
God.
Man. Believe it or not. But yeah, I flipped it on. She said, "Put it on," and I was watching a little bit because maybe there's something funny for the show, but really there isn't. I mean,
it's tough to get through. Like, if you sat and watched the full thing, you could probably find something. But do you really want to sit and watch the whole thing?
No, I
find that one little nugget.
I can't watch 2 minutes of Miley Cyrus.
Oh God, she's.
I mean, I don't know what that is. What is that?
I have one question.
She's the worst.
I have one question, and I think this will sum it all up. What does VMA stand for?
Video Music Award.
Okay, and how many Video Music Awards did they give away?
Probably 4.
There you go.
I don't know.
And it's
it's different from MTV, right? They're separate.
No,
it's supposed to be like video. I remember when it actually meant something, and there were like bands actually showing up for it, and like that were like sitting there. You know what? That'd be cool to win a video award because it actually meant something way back years ago.
I turned it on when my daughter pointed it out to me, and then I looked at the girl Nicki Minaj was screaming at Miley Cyrus on the stage. They were going at it with each other, like real.
Were they?
Something like that. And I think to myself, who's producing this show? I mean, you have
probably a bunch of 31-year-old guys who are just like,
on
TV, former frat boys.
And when you have a TV show like that, you're supposed to have it organized. But I guess they don't. I guess it's just
a bunch of Howard Sterns and Josh Innes's are sitting back there in the control room. Fight with each other.
See when you say stuff like that about Howard Stern, then you don't know. You don't know how.
Fight with each other.
You have no idea because that's not how Howard Stern works.
Yeah.
He's my mentor, by the way. Come on, man. If you think like that of Howard Stern, you don't know him. All you know is what his show is about, but about the actual genius that he is.
I'm talking about a show. Yeah, it's trash. It's trash television, trash radio, whatever it is.
You know what? If this guy,
the same
this guy's been on his show. He has interviews.
That's fine.
Okay.
Fine.
But I'm just saying, the interview wasn't about sex, porn, and all the other stuff. It was about his life and what he did.
So
but
Donald,
I'm just trying to say, it has that to it.
Mike Vick doesn't always kill dogs, but he's still a dog killer.
Good point.
Good point. Oh, wasn't Howard Stern on Oprah too? I mean, like, who cares? You can be whatever you want to be.
I understand he's your boy.
Yeah, I mean,
I just have no interest in that type of.
I never was over the top Howard Stern.
The show itself is a complete act.
How much can I pay you to fart in my mouth right now? How much can I pay you?
But you understand?
Like I have no interest
how
in that.
much that draws, though?
I don't care. I know.
What you're saying,
I'm agreeing it.
People say, "Well, it's disgusting, whatever," but it's incredible how much of society that draws.
I completely agree. I understand that.
Howard Stern, that's not the Howard Stern that you would like bullshit with and hang out with at a party. No. That's a character, and he's over the top, and he says stuff for ratings and stuff. I understand that. I understand that. So how's that different from like Trump or something like that, who's trying to get votes and going crazy?
He loves Trump.
No, he doesn't love Trump. That's that was just as sarcastic as all right. That's the thing. Like
Trump, I love what Trump is doing. I don't love Trump. Trump can't be the president. You hope he's not, but I love what he's doing. What he's doing is he's thrown a monkey wrench in the entire system, and he's have everybody panicking. Politicians can't be they can't be political. They can't do their shtick with the people now because he's opened the door for truth and reality. So now these guys can't get up there. You can't get Jeb Bush to sit up there and go, I'm going to do this, and I promise you I'll do that, and I'm going to do this, and this guy's no good, and my brother really isn't George. You can't do that no more because that's not reality. What Donald Trump is, he's turned the political genre or the political
correctness,
the correctness into reality. It's now reality TV. It's no longer, scripted like these debates were. These debates were scripted. They were scripted bullshit. You'd sit through your watches at the same question, same stupid. How are you going to get health care? Well, I'm going to do this. Nah. The same bullshit. Bullshit after bullshit. Lie after lie. Vote for me. Vote for me. Here's some more money. Vote for me. It's not like that anymore. You got to have a reason. Like he said, immigration wasn't a topic until Trump made it a topic.
So one can do it just for ratings, and one can do it just for votes.
Trump's problem is I don't think he's doing as good as he thought he was. Now that he's doing that good, he's running with it.
Yeah, I don't think he expected to be an actual legit candidate now.
Yeah, but now he sees he's doing it, so he's thinking, okay, well, I'm doing it. Let's see how far we can go with this thing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he doesn't realize that, and maybe he does realize what he's doing is he's just busting up the whole political machine on both sides. Okay? They don't know what to do now. They don't even know what to say. People cannot wait for this next debate. It's reality TV.
But he's not invited to it.
You know what?
He'll crash it.
They might
have his own debate.
He doesn't need an invite.
They're going to have to invite him because they want the ratings. If they don't, if Bush isn't in that debate, if Trump isn't at that debate, I'm not watching it. What do I want to watch? I want to watch the bullshitters bullshit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I can see it on the.
If they don't invite Trump to that debate, you're going to have a rebrought instead of next week's Apprentice. Will just be 2 hours of Donald Trump by himself. Yeah. He's going to cancel a show and say, "Look, I'm taking the time. I don't have a Trump impression."
That wasn't bad, man. That wasn't bad at all. I'm taking the time. We have my own show, and I'm going to tell you how things are going to be. And last week,
there's no one to debate with. It'll just be him.
Yeah, you had 16 bullshitters tell you this, that, and the other thing, and this is how it really is. Right or wrong, it doesn't really matter. He's opened up the floodgates to pure reality. Is what he's
told you. Loved him.
Yep. I love what
I know you love what he does.
I love what he's doing, but is he going to be my president? You know what? But then again, I look at the field of Republicans and I say to myself, well, who else up there would I rather be than him? Nobody. I look over the other side.
If you look at the Republicans, everybody else is a career politician except for the doctor, the black guy. Yeah. He's a doctor, and he's the one that's closing the gap.
Carson,
thank you. Ben Carson. Yeah. He's the one that's closing the gap. So
you know what it is? I think it is.
Nobody wants a politician there.
I think it's this big. I'd love to see what it would be like to have him as a president. It's like a test drive.
He'll either be the greatest president of all time, or he will start World War III. There's no in between. Mm-hmm. There's no in between.
There is no. You're right. There is no. Yeah, because
he'll either straighten everything out, or he's going to walk over to the Middle East and call.
I tell you what,
the
I'm
Pharaoh,
going to nuke it.
Yeah, the Pharaoh of Iraq a douche, and tell him he's fired.
But he does it with a lot of money. It might change things. You know what I mean?
There would be no middle ground.
You can say what you want about the Middle East. They still have the oil, and the oil's money. So if he walks over to a wad of cash, there you go. These little kids, hey, ISIS, here's a couple $100,000. There, I'm like, oh, guys, go buy some porn or something. There you go. Do something different than shooting people. That's the kind of craziness.
I'm sure they would use that money to real valuable.
You know what? We're not going to shoot anymore because Trump gave us $100,000. Yeah, right.
Well, how much?
Cashy for president 2016.
Yeah. 2020.
Cash is
that
king.
Way, at least I know Kanye won't win. Then.
Put cash on the ticket.
Cash is king, and nothing else means a thing. And if that's not a true statement, I don't know what is.
The hell with Prez. We got the king right here. We're going to make it a monarchy. United Cashy of America.
You have to understand something. You have to watch, and I watch a lot of this crap. I watch all this C-SPAN bullshit.
You still watch a lot of crap.
Yeah, I do watch a lot of this crap. Because it's so entertaining because you just shake your head like you're just like, you got to be kidding me, man. This shit really goes on. Wow, that's the way I see it. That's the only other way to see it, I think.
Well,
my end of it.
Either way, it's going to be an entertaining, I guess, primary at least. Well, who knows? He might just go on his own anyway, and that'll really mess up everything. If he doesn't go as a Republican, he's really going to mess up the works on everybody.
Well,
because he's going to take half away from here, half away from there.
We're way past from messing up. He's done his job. Does well. Now the wall report.
Thank you very much, guys. There to see.
Mikey.
There we go. So I finally got what I wanted. A nice round of applause and a standing ovation amongst my peers. Well, not my peers because you're much older than me. It is time for the wall report. Everyone's favorite segment. We're going to kick things off here overseas, over in Britain. It's a guy, boxer. He's been dubbed Britain's worst boxer. His name's Robin Deacon. He finally won after 51 consecutive professional losses. He won his first one. He was 1-0. He's undefeated. And he lost 51 straight. He hasn't won since like 06, I believe. He finally got off the schneid. He won. He's now 2-51. So big round of applause. Robin Deacon actually retweeted Sports Goombahs tweet today.
Nice.
So I had to give him a shout out today. Buffalo Sabres forward Evander Kane. He rented out a giant billboard in Hollywood to profess his love for his ex-girlfriend who doesn't want him back. Have you guys ever had any public displays try to win somebody over?
Do it all the time, man.
Still do it to this day.
He's got the 12 restraining orders to prove it too.
I think you like that one. You like that joke.
Hashtag awkward.
Speaking of awkward, Derrick Rose in some hot water now. He's being sued by his ex-girlfriend for allegedly drugging her, breaking into her apartment, and then gang raping her with 2 friends. Serious allegations.
Derrick Rose?
Derrick Rose.
Kidding. Really?
Yeah, no. You didn't hear about this?
No.
Yeah, this is breaking headline news all over the last week or so.
Chicago's the pride of the Chicago.
He finally gets back on the court, and now he's going to go back into court. The only thing I find interesting about the entire thing is gang raping your ex-girlfriend with your 2 buddies. This doesn't seem like something anybody would do.
So okay, I mean the gang rape itself is you're curious, but the fact he's doing it with his buddy makes it worse.
No, I'm saying, but it's your ex-girlfriend. Like, obviously the sickos do it all the time, but it's like, hey guys, she broke up with me. You guys want to come over and we'll do this together? Like,
doesn't seem like
somebody anybody would do, let alone.
Let's look at that.
Derrick Rose.
Let's look at that for a second. Does it look like there might be more to that? Possibly.
She wants a payday. That's what he's saying. He's kind of even he's saying like, I'm not even taking this seriously. She just wants a paycheck.
Right, because maybe she enticed it and to get back the money sometimes. Yeah. So it's not just 2 guys. That's
why I had to say the word allegedly.
Right, because it doesn't sound like they would go.
We're not trying to get
thuggery in there and just do that violently. There's a motive on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. The Clippers were fined $250,000 by the NBA for their shady tactics. I don't know if you ever saw the picture with DeAndre Jordan, where they locked him and they physically locked him in a closet until with the whole team to try to convince him, and eventually he did decide. He gave the Mavericks a big FU and signed back with the Clippers. Well, obviously the NBA decided that's not okay. You can't do that. You can't basically steal somebody, kidnap them until they re-sign with you. So that's a $250,000 fine, and it made me. I think that I don't know why this is a thing with the NBA. No other team really has, another sport really has this, where it's like you agree to these deals, but it's like soft deals. You can't sign them for 10 days, and this stuff happens way too often now, where people are just backstabbing other teams and other things. I never understood that rule when it comes to the NBA. Kurt Schilling, speaking of hot water, man, he was suspended by ESPN, gang from the Little League World Series coverage following his controversial tweets comparing Muslims to Nazis.
Kurt, he just can't keep his mouth shut.
He's a very opinionated man.
Yeah,
he really is.
And why does he think people really care what he has to say?
Why do we care? I don't think what we have to say. What Skip Bayless has to say.
But we don't. You know what? We don't say things like that. When he has
we
to make,
could,
yeah. But you're smart enough.
It would go probably unheard of.
Yeah, but you're not for him to actually say that and then put it in actual print and in Twitter's print.
Well, he had a little cute picture he found that compared. Said like, oh, they say only 5 to 10% of Muslims are extremist terrorists.
And they had a picture of Hitler on there too.
And only then again only 7% of Germans were Nazis.
How'd that work out? Right.
Yeah, got suspended.
And that's, but you think
I want to say, okay, well, here is it the truth? if it is the truth.
No,
You know,
you can't do
well,
that.
there are people that come
why
out
you
and
can't?
defending
Why,
him.
let me ask you, why is it okay to say one thing and not okay to say the other? If it's the facts and it offends somebody, why are you allowed to say it? Because you're falling. You just said political correctness like not even 2 minutes ago with Trump.
Say, because you got to be smarter when you say things. Certain times when you're on Sunday Night Baseball, okay, and you're doing the Little League World Series, certain things you just keep your mouth shut for. And then when it's all over, if you want to do that, but while you're doing that, you know people are reading your tweets because you're involved in something that's going on in the country right now. You don't put that on there unless you really want people to see that and start.
You think that would have mattered if he wasn't on Sunday Night Baseball? If he says that ESPN will still fire,
it would not be as.
If he wasn't employed by ESPN, it doesn't matter if it's on Sunday Baseball or not. If he wasn't employed by ESPN, there wouldn't be an outrage. But obviously, when you have
it would have been this. The only reason why, I mean, I didn't hear about it.
If he worked,
the only reason that I heard about it is because ESPN suspended him.
If he worked for a local NBC affiliate, he probably wouldn't get suspended.
Nope.
But it's ESPN. It's a national, it's a national corporation. It's a worldwide corporation.
Kurt Schilling might be goofing off to have done it on purpose because he wanted to put it out there because he wanted his opinion.
Probably wanted to break.
But you know what? You don't do it. Well, yeah, he wanted to get fired, right?
No, he didn't get fired.
I mean, it's one thing to do it when you're doing the world baseball. I mean, it's an adult game, but when you're dealing with kids and stuff like that, you can't put that rhetoric out there. You can't do it, man. Especially with the.
He has had some supporters. Sarah Palin, for one, came out.
Look at that. Wackadoos to number two.
Former Clueless star Stacey Dash came out and said, "I don't see anything wrong with this."
Well, look at the people who come out and saying that. You know,
Stacey Dash she's a respected actress.
Yeah.
Sarah Palin's a former presidential or vice presidential nominee.
Governor of Alaska.
Yeah, that was
and certified #1 wackadoo. Okay, any way you look at it, Sarah Palin.
Speaking of ESPN employees,
not on this show.
I don't know if you heard about them. I'm sure Cash did. He's probably affected by this, but the Ashley Madison cheating website hack. I knew you were. I knew it. But I don't know where you can find these records. I've been trying to find them all day. Couldn't find them. But 101 ESPN employees were registered on the website. The names haven't been revealed. Although somebody has them somewhere. Here's my question. So two or three guys you think they're definitely on there. They said there's on-air personalities from major shows. For one, Berman's on there.
Oh yeah, come
on. Berman's on there.
He's got stake. He's invested in that.
He's probably co-owner.
Yeah,
there's probably find his name in the header.
I'm going to go out on a limb. They said 150, 101. I'm going to say 92 of them are probably Berman as aliases with 18 different things going. Because maybe he's trying to get a little baby back. He's trying to get a baby back.
He hated that. But yeah, I thought for sure Berman's up there. Now this isn't a wall report. This is something I wanted to throw in your face. Ben Revere is currently hitting .316, batting leadoff for the Blue Jays.
Been waiting for that.
Batting leadoff for the Blue Jays.
Getting some good pitches.
Number, whatever he's wearing, Ben Revere.
Yeah.
Rays catcher. We always love this on the wall report. Kurt Casale, he hit a home run, and then he promptly pulled his hamstring, rounding first base, and left the game with an injury. Nothing better than a good celebratory injury. That's a first bout wall report. A little sad. I mean, not little. It's very sad. But I think actions being taken for more security measures here. 60-year-old Braves fan Gregory Murray. Yeah, he died after falling from the upper deck at Turner Field. Not even the first person to die at Turner Field alone in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
But it's just I feel like this is happening yearly now in sports.
Yeah,
Josh Hamilton killed a guy in the outfield.
Not even killed the guy.
Threw a ball to him. I mean. Didn't throw the ball. The guy's still alive right now.
Lots going on in baseball right now, and not to get off. Finish your up, bro.
No, this is the last one I had before I want to play a little game with you guys. But
I'm not surprised it doesn't happen more often with alcohol in these big stadiums. I mean, I'm not trying to be negative Nelly or be mean about it, but you get excessive drinking at these games sometimes, and you're not surprised if it. I'm surprised it doesn't happen at more NFL games the way they party at NFL games. Bigger stadiums too.
I'm waiting for you.
I know it looks like he's.
You're the one who said you wanted to go into it. But you told me to finish up. So I'm telling you, I'm finished. I want to hear I want to hear your take.
Well, listening to the commissioner on this one, First of all, he's going to put a net. He's going to put a not that has anything to do with this, but as far as safety is concerned, they're going to be a net.
Because people keep getting smoked in the head with balls as well.
Yeah, they're going to be putting the net all the way down the first and third baseline.
All the way down.
Yeah, it's going to go.
I don't like that at all.
At least to and we don't have a choice. It's going to lease the end of the dugout because the balls that are being ripped are way worse than the ones that are getting fouled back.
Well, I'll tell you now that if you put them up through the dugout, those seats just lost half their value.
Well, they don't seem to think that. I mean, it didn't hurt hockey. It didn't hurt.
Hockey's not even remotely the same. Nobody goes to hockey and say, "I can't wait to catch a flying puck."
Well, or have one of the guys throw it to me.
Yeah,
because that's what it is. The dugout value is getting a ball from Ryan Howard as he's walking back.
They do not care right now. What they care about is lawsuits.
I know they don't care.
Yeah.
So whatever it will affect ticket sales.
If it does or it doesn't, it doesn't matter. Whatever is the dollar value of the lawsuits that are going to come down them, and it's not just people getting hurt anymore. It's anybody getting hit by a ball now. Whether you says on the back of that ticket or not doesn't really matter. You get a lawyer, you do your thing. You do what it is. And the velocity of these balls coming in, I mean, the lady hit a couple of weeks ago. I mean, they took her out on a stretcher, I think.
Yeah.
And it's a weapon. Like the bat's a weapon. That ball coming off there, if you're not paying attention and the stadiums give you so much to be so many other things to focus on from what's going on.
That's not true.
Well, hear me out. I'm going to tell you what happened. I'm going to tell you because I saw it. I watched it happen even when I was there the other night. They got stuff going on that scoreboard. They got the 50-50 number constantly scrolling out there for the number of money you can win. I'm talking about things that just Mike, I'm talking about things that distract
I'm
your
letting
eyes.
you go.
You're shaking your head.
I'm letting you go. Then
the deal is, it's just a lot going on. People aren't focused on the game. If you were going out to that Phillies game the other night with us, no one's watching that game. Foul balls were coming. And I texted on Facebook, I was dodging foul balls all night. None came our way, but we're in it and just bouncing in there all over the place, and no one's even paying attention. The surprises of everybody. It's like no one's going like this. The catch all going like this because
I agree with you. I agree wholeheartedly what you just said.
The incoming. It's like an incoming bomb coming in. Oh, like that. Used to be everybody's watching the game, and then you can catch it because you can focus on it if you can catch it. But there's so much more. I mean, you can't imagine. Well, you can. Everybody's on their phone.
The Twitter, selfies, Facebook,
and I'll rebuttal with the fact that has nothing whatsoever to do with the stadium. It's just because that's the 2015 fan. They want to tweet about it, and they're lazy.
Yes, but if I'm sitting here like this, and I know I got.
But it has nothing to do with things flashing on the scoreboard. That has nothing to do with that.
And some of the distractions it is on there. I mean, you know what?
They're not playing games with the which train's gonna be. That's between innings. Yeah. They're not doing that in the middle. There's nothing to look at other than their stats during a game. There's nothing.
Stuff going.
There's nothing.
Yeah, there's stuff going on. I'm telling you.
Tell me what you went to so many games. What's going on in the outfield?
Well, let's see.
It's all between innings. Other than that, it's just pictures, stats, and yes, you're right. The scrolling 50-50. But people aren't glued to the monitor. Oh, another $5. Oh, another $10. That doesn't. Nobody does that.
I saw the Fanatic in Placer the other day when he was messing around.
I will wholeheartedly agree with you, like he said, with the phones. Yeah, I'm guilty of it myself.
So you got to protect.
It's not even that. It's like you said. It's a 215 fan. They're sitting there. They're going. They're one. They have to have the right outfit. Two, the makeup's got to be perfect, or the hat, or whatever, the clothes, whatever, everything that long on that line. When they get there, they got to take a picture of their seat. They got to take a picture of them in their seats. They got to take a picture of the field. They got to take a picture of themselves sitting in their seat. And here comes there's the hot dog guy. Beer? Oh, let's Twitter. Oh, having a beer and a hot dog. So now by the time they eat their stuff, it's cold and flat, and it's just the way it is. And the first inning's over, and you're like, what happened? And that is the average fan anymore.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's what they're trying to protect against. That's what they're anywhere. It doesn't matter. It's anywhere. You can. I bet if you went on anybody's accounts from all over this country, it's always going to be the same exact thing. It's going to be somebody tweeting at a game picks or whatever, and they're not paying attention. And I think that's what he's talking about.
Unless it's the ninth inning of Game 7 of the World Series. They're always going to be focusing on their phones and other things. Because baseball by nature is a slower game.
But now you have to protect your idiot fans from themselves.
Yeah.
Because it says so on the back of your ticket. Beware of – well, you have to, because apparently that little thing that says, hey, I bought this ticket, I'm sitting here, and I'm agreeing to the fact that baseball Yep, balls and bats may leave the playing field without notice. Blah blah blah.
I don't know where it says it now. I remember at the vet, every single entrance had that right.
Yep.
Right.
Pay attention. Pay attention. You know.
That means to an attorney, nothing.
Nothing. Exactly. So that's why, you know what? You don't give a shit. We don't give a shit about you. We don't care that you're not going to get a ball from Ryan Howard because he can't throw it to the mesh behind the dugout. Guess what? You're going home tonight alive with all your teeth. And that's what they care about, right?
No, I agree with that. But I'm just telling you now, those tickets that were selling for $100 on StubHub are now going to go for $70.
Oh, I believe that wholeheartedly too. You know which ones will be? The ones in the corners there. That'll be the money ones because that's the one where you can get a ball.
You don't know that yet. If a team's winning, they'll buy to go. I don't care what.
Yeah, but not every team's winning. Only a handful of teams
what I'm saying
win.
in general, you're telling me that the seat value of a stadium it's not based on whether the team's winning or losing anyway. It's based on the fact of what they can get for the ticket. Now, if you're going to tell me that a ticket's going to cost,
it's obviously a combination of the both.
Yeah, but no, it's not because you buy your season tickets. You're not guaranteed you're a winning team that year. I'm going to buy season tickets next year for the Phillies, right?
Not everybody buys season tickets. You know that, right?
Yeah, I understand. But that's not my point. My point is you're saying that the fact that the screen's going to be there will devalue the ticket itself. It won't if the team's winning. It might devalue on a StubHub, but the actual ticket sale itself,
of course, because they're going to list it for the same amount. Yeah, they're not going to change it.
There's not going to be no money.
It's going to be the secondary.
Yeah, I mean, if the difference between having a shitty team or having a net in front of your playing field is going to be the same amount because no one's going anyway. So if you're a shitty team with a net, you're right. There's less a chance that seat's going to be filled. But the bottom line is, if you're playing winning baseball and it's the place to be, the tickets are going to get sold, and we know that.
Well, of course, I agree with that.
Well, yeah, that's the nature of sports. Everybody wants to be where the winners are. And if you're a winner, you're watching the Sports Goombahs, Cash the King, Chef the Left.
You're taking those picks. If you're a winner, you're taking those picks.
Oh yeah, that too, man.
7-0.
I thought he was going to punch you.
10-0 if you count me.
Yeah. Catch us on the www.sgshow.net every week, 9:00. We got still have the fantasy football that's going to go right on through the season. So when you when you draft a shitty team or pick some lousy players, you need to make changes. You're going to tune in here on Wednesday night at 8:00. Catch Mikey the Wall doing his things. And right now it's going to be Wednesday night until we can figure something out.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. With that.
I did actually have one more thing from the Wall report I did want to get out there. I thought this was a hilarious story. Soccer has their deadline day to make their transactions. Manchester United and Real Madrid, two of the biggest teams. Well, actually, it was Barcelona, I do believe. No, it was Real Madrid. Sorry, but anyway, they agreed to sell their top goalie for $29 million. Had to send the paperwork in. They sent the wrong file and missed the deadline. They sent it as a TIFF file, and Windows is not set up to read TIFF.
Yeah,
so they couldn't get it. They couldn't sign the documents in time. Deadline passed.
That's the way people run into
2015.
Yeah,
that's just the way it is.
Stuff with soccer.
That TIFF file gets me every time.
I hate a TIFF file. Nothing's worse than you see that TIFF file come through.
All right, hey, we might be tune in to www.sportsgoombahs.com. Check out. We might be going to try to run a Thursday show this week to see over and unders in the NFL.
Win more money.
We're going
to do it while we're hot.
Yeah, we'll do a lot of.
We're going to do it later, but we're too hot. We got to run.
Check us out. We'll know more on Wednesday on our Thursday show. Cash King, Chef Left, Brendan B, Mikey the Wall, rock and roll in the 515 studios here. Sports Goombahs right here.